Oh, emergency?
And,
When we wrote the SMZ, see, that was courtesy.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Temporary, until we find one.
that what we figured.
See, what happened is,
One, yep, we'll do it.
I was on the board
That'll
of
work.
Missoula, the district's board, we were doing the 310.
Consider it done.
Humphrey said a
Okay.
condition to clear cut the swamp. So they were doing.
Oh, I want Bismarck.
Look at that.
You're finding all this stuff.
On the west side of the.
Remember when she could never find my folders, Rose?
I could
Yeah.
never
She's
find
found,
them.
she's found two of them in the back
Mission
here.
side was so steep.
I didn't put 'em there.
Okay, this is almost cleaned off, then I'm gonna sit down and start payroll.
Well, you better.
How's that? You can participate if you'd like, that would be, I
Wow.
found another calculator. Oh, okay. And I understand you had found some mistakes on this? I don't know, because I didn't see them. I think you got them when I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You found some mistakes? That was my understanding.
Oh,
I think they have been corrected. This is a mess.
since they're not marked now, I'll just have to reread them all, and I don't remember which ones they were now.
Uh,
One of them was that somebody made a motion,
Yep, that's what
and
Darren
and then there
said.
was no second, no.
We don't need this anymore. It was just a proposal.
Mhm.
We're urging the forms individuals, yeah.
Yes, they are.
No, they did it right.
Okay.
Today's the 10th?
Huh?
Today is the 10th?
Yeah,
Not sure.
So Plum Creek.
Not
Do you want a
sure.
calculator?
because the 12th is Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right.
Oh, I did.
I get the pictures of D6s and rubber tires, there's dragging bundles and logs down the creeks and tear up and whatever else. And you get it putting this washouts in the bottom, 4 times the size of this. That is floating out across
Yeah.
the county.
And we do need a coat
What
rack.
the hell are you doing? So that's where the SMZs came from.
I just hope I wasn't one of you guys driving.
I'll give you a clue. There's a picture of me sitting on a TD-14 I owned in 1973 in the middle of the Wasatch River with the engine installed.
Ken, as I stuff my coat in the wall here between the bookshelf and it's hanging out, I wonder if you could do a favor.
Sure.
Might you ask Kathy, I don't know when they open, do they open this month, Women in Timber?
Well, she's down there regularly, so.
Oh, I wonder if there'd be a coat rack, because see my coat sticking out over there?
Okay, I will ask.
That'd be great,
I will ask.
thank you,
And if there is, I'll bring it up.
I would appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
As I don't like the junk on that thing showing, and I don't like my coat showing, sticking out.
It's so much nicer. Holy cow. That's back there.
So I did my part.
We all over there.
That counts in the middle of my driveway still.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, it's a TD-14 international.
Oh, yeah, that's a great little cat.
Well, this one is cherry, it's perfect.
Boy, it's fun getting in
Oh, she's pretty, the paint's good. Not good enough.
there. They look good, so.
A little bit blade on them was too big. They put a little more blade on them.
They were stable.
Oh, and you know, I got a DocuSign from DOT, but I thought they were sending me stuff for all of us to review before I signed.
I knew that, yeah.
Well, we were.
No, it's an
It's for
ongoing
the
thing.
railroad crossing.
Yeah, just an ongoing.
Yeah, but remember, isn't he called me and I said, okay, it was gonna be quite a few weeks and then I wanted to print it out and show it to you guys before I signed anything. But it came as a DocuSign, so do you think I just go ahead and sign it?
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing, they've already done some of the work, they're just kind of, they just do it piecemeal.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up and,
Wow,
They're stable cats.
yeah. They pushed plenty, but I'm always amazed to see that they put a blade that big.
It was wide, yeah,
It's wide and they're heavy.
yeah.
They're built, I mean, the tubes on those are just huge, like, this was amazing.
So this is the reprinted one that's correct now, you say?
I believe it is.
I wonder if the old ones are out there.
Hmm.
Did I put markers
Darren's
on
in
it?
his office,
I
I don't
did.
know.
Oh.
They
I
did-
don't know.
They had a big
Okay.
shop over at Springdale. Over at like
Oh, okay.
And so the hoops were doing that for people, and so the only way to get one done was either bring it this side of the mountains and see if Westmont would do it or whoever else. No, the hoops said, no, I won't do it, so they don't worry about it. And so they had everything. So they had incredible machines.
Oh, okay.
You can eat off the tracks of it to this day. It is just beautiful.
these drawers are packed, somebody will come in and.
I don't drive it much. Actually, the reason I don't drive it, I don't run it very much
Oh.
anymore because I got.
I bet you guys forgot about this.
So heavy. But I've got-
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We did.
The size
Is it?
Oh, very good. We did forget
Halloween
about it.
candy?
Hercules-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It runs like a top.
That's funny.
Yep, starts right up.
So you're gonna use that
There's
on
like-
I use that right there, actually.
What's this?
So I need a cap, that's what I use. The nice part is I can move it. So I just run it up over the trailers and that's fine.
What do you think this
It
is?
goes down too much, you can drive it anywhere and away you go.
That's a
The
projector.
problem with 14 is
That
that.
takes it.
Guys use projectors
That's
anymore?
one of them too.
This is a
Oh, yeah.
projector.
Yeah.
For what?
Their guns are closed in, right?
You wanna
Oh,
open
yeah,
it?
I run one. I don't.
Sorry. That's why.
Not really.
I know you don't, I know.
Funny little machines.
It's a data
They
projector.
sure ran well, they were simple. They were simple.
Okay,
No,
when did you know anything about that? A data projector? That was under here?
You can actually see the cylinder from the outside, yeah.
I know nothing.
It's those ones that are on that little round thing and you hold it up.
Oh, yeah.
A viewmaster,
A
a
viewmaster.
viewmaster. I'm gonna get this
Well,
computer.
we're gonna park it right under here, Doug.
You're putting it right back in there?
No, under there.
You mentioned that.
That's what I found.
Okay,
Can't
I
see
gotta
it.
pull up that DOT thing.
For most of us, if you take it 2/6 apart, and the last hole, 2/6
Did
apart.
you
We'll
read
look
that?
at two other things for a week, come
I
back
haven't yet.
together, and
Okay.
think back together.
Me neither.
and start.
Yeah.
Holy.
I read the other one.
Oh, I didn't.
Well, back in the day, you had to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have a couple of those. I wonder if I have Romans.
To do that. Run stuff, so I just figured out early on.
And I don't know, I just saw this, I don't know what that's for.
What's that?
I
What is it?
found that in a folder. It's not dated, was it when it was gone?
This one here?
Yeah,
I
just saw it.
Yeah.
on one side of the folder it says Roman and the other side it says John.
They're fun.
I don't know who's
Took
it
me,
is.
I haven't read it once for like 3 years, and I couldn't remember it was never a fault, this was the compression thing.
So that's Darren writing there about.
We sit down,
Was that one that starts on gas?
they started
Yeah,
gasoline,
that's right.
yeah, and then they were, TD-21s did the same thing, 14s, 15s, 12s, 11s, they all
I
started.
could probably
on
find the
gasoline.
date from the claim numbers, I guess, and see if it's already
That
been.
was 14 degrees. Yeah, back in the day, if you had a 14, you were five.
Yeah, that's what Ray told me, he said that was Captain Golden Hill.
Yeah.
That are a six.
See, I thought the Logwood was a D69U until I was like 15.
That's what I started out on.
Is there another machine besides a D69U?
They were a lot smaller than the 14.
They were. I didn't realize how smaller they were until I had one next to the other.
Okay,
14's not that long, but you're right, it's wide.
now,
And it
Oh, yeah.
almost has fat tracks.
I remember.
Yeah.
They kept swearing in people and just had their names, I said, we should add.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah, he did say.
So, yeah, so this must have got changed, I didn't see the motion thing yet, and then, yeah, that, now I remember what, it was a motion thing, and then we just have people's names, I thought, well, in the future, we might.
I've got one.
Oh, yeah,
Who they were.
absolutely, yeah.
What they did.
It's just, I mean,
Yep.
always got a winch on
14.
it. A 14 with a winch on it.
Yeah.
They might want to take it home and put the wrench on my other machine.
I guess there were no documents.
Must not have been.
Because of logging.
So we should probably, I'll tell him to say, no documents were signed in the future.
Oh, okay. Or don't
You're
even put
just
it
talking
there.
about the Johnson car.
Yeah. Yeah.
One or the other.
And nobody knows what that is.
So, under administrative.
Some of us do. Yeah, right.
And you proofed them all?
I just
Well,
found
we
it.
already proofed them, except you did find, yeah.
Yeah, I told Darren, we gotta be careful, because once it's on that expensive
Yeah.
paper, we don't wanna go back and correct it. We
Yeah.
wanna correct it when it's, but I think I was gone.
These were
then.
Renee, yeah, how did we, I don't know. I'll
Anyway,
have to find
so
out.
then I was reading those, I go, oh gee, we gotta fix that, so then I told him, make sure we don't. And I
Yeah.
also told him, he said sometimes when he hits click upstairs to print it, so You always had that problem, you said that you'd set them up there and then there would be another change inadvertently. Didn't you say that sometimes we'd look at it, we'd make a change, then you'd send them up and then something else would go
Yes,
wrong in the
yeah.
transaction?
Yeah, and what I thought we really could have done here, instead of reprinting that paper, you know, we,
Handwrite them.
red line and handwrite, although that might have been a lot for
Mm.
those. Yeah, I'm not sure how those went up, but they did, and it's all fixed now, and those will be officially reported.
I'll go find out if this got submitted or not, and I'll find out.
What is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, and I wonder if you want to take him that whole folder, because, well, this we need to file. I wonder if it's his and he accidentally left it here.
who's he?
Karen,
Oh,
since that's his stuff.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So we even had Washington DC on the phone yesterday, Rowan, about Welling.
Oh, really? How did it turn out?
Oh, we're good. He and I just worked on it. We had 4 phone calls yesterday. We're good. But it's been interesting to answer everybody's questions and try to solve the Title III money question. But even DC is quite keen on you guys.
They are.
They're quite pleased that the county
Well, that's
stepped
good.
up and is doing it. They were quite nice, and Lincoln County was really supportive of the whole question too. And Ravalli County as well. So I talked to all their different people about how they funded it, what they did, what qualified, what didn't, and then DC.
Oh, Valley County did the same thing?
Yeah, and then DC, and so did Lincoln County, but then DC called us back. I started talking to the regional office, and the regional head ladies in DC on assignment for a year.
Uh-huh.
So
I mean, it's snafu.
she knows one of the commissioners who was here like 15 years ago. I can't remember which one.
My microwave and
EJ McComb, James Warnken.
Thornton, she knew Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's who she knew. No, but we're getting close, Rowan, but it was like really weird that DC, I was surprised that they called me back in like an hour. I thought I'd wait for a day, because just getting answers from people's hearts sometimes.
Usually.
This is cool. She said, oh, yeah.
Let me see what I can find for you.
This is what qualifies, what doesn't qualify.
Mhm.
Go across it, we got it.
All right, well, good.
So it's nice.
I'm gonna wait. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, your sweet
I
tooth.
lost my.
For my sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah. I'll have that. I don't know how old they are, maybe they're.
Well, that's okay, petrified food is fine, Rowan. Don't you know that by now?
Here you go. And we'll just keep that with the clipboard. Oh, do I need to get my copy out of there? Or you gonna have something in the microwave?
No.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Too much fun today.
What's this?
Hmm?
Why do I have this folder?
I don't know.
I don't,
I think you put that down with the
was that other
claims
folder?
and, yeah, or the check.
To check in with them, because there, yeah, there was another folder too.
I'll do it Friday, because we're very quick.
Did you put agenda in your folder?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I haven't got
Oh, you want it?
no, but I just didn't know if I had one, and okay, I'm done cleaning now.
Yeah. Under the bottom of this stuff.
Okay, found it.
We don't need it till, when? Well, I had one. Oh,
Oh, Diane must be coming at 10:05. Okay.
yep.
Okay,
Right, you
and
want it?
here, no, I found one. So, is that gonna go under administrative business?
Mhm.
And just say,
Yeah.
Doing the pie.
I am, because I wasn't sure how I wanted to say that. But,
So I just,
is that your sister?
Couple of marine. Oh, shoot.
I think it's changed though too. It used to be
Okay, this is from Darren, although
Hmm?
that's Darren's, but maybe I'll. Did you, how did I get these two? Did you already do those two?
No, you got a class, right?
Yeah, but
You
you
said I'll-
could do, yeah,
You
no.
said I'll split it.
I will split it, but
Oh.
are the sheriff's department ones all together, or were these just random?
I just grabbed half the file.
Okay, maybe I have more of them. Oh, I have those. And Roman was going to do the looking over of the sheriff's department payroll, because that one's difficult for me.
Yeah.
Do you need a calculator? I found another calculator.
Oh, no, I got one on my phone.
Okay, okay.
Good way to go.
I know. Oh, I like to use this. Oh, I know. I was pulling up that DocuSign so that gets done. I'll pass
That
it.
was from that old tough guy, John Owens.
Yeah, I think so.
He's the guy that, or he was the guy that handled that one in St. Mary's.
Yeah, I'll pull that up and have you guys take a look and make sure.
He's a pretty good egg.
So that isn't the one probably that I got the phone call on?
I
You don't know, because you don't know who called me, do you?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
Some of the days though, we just do that.
I think it came under MC Commissioners. But you're really good at checking the email there. Do you remember seeing it there?
I think it was on, my personal too.
Okay, nothing's coming up here for MC Commissioner's mail on this one. Oh, that's no good. This is it.
I'm gonna have to get glasses.
I have some if you need some. No emails come up here. I'll have to call DIS.
This new, is this a new dispatcher?
Who is it?
Jacob, somebody?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Like Sorensen or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's short of himself.
Oh,
on that. Yeah, unless, yeah. I'll show it to them, they can adjust it next time. But I'll just go to this one right now,
Okay.
if they already fixed it.
Do you remember kind of the date?
Oh, it was last week, probably, maybe it was Saturday, Sunday.
I thought it was online, but, because I just seen it, something just come, didn't it? Oh, you're talking the DocuSign, okay, well,
The
let me look
DocuSign.
in the commissioners.
Okay, and I'm on my phone looking in the commissioners because nothing's coming up here, which I'll have to call DIS about.
Really?
1:30, it was in Amy.
I know I've seen it, I just don't remember where. Well, all I have is yesterday too. Didn't see any, well, I don't know if anything's come on today. I know I've seen it.
Yeah, me too. Huh, I don't have an MC commissioner, and I know it was February. At least I feel pretty confident.
Good, good.
Yeah, but, oh, you really need to know where the form, I can't find it from there. You got problems.
The other thing that's really weird.
Really?
I can't find the DocuSign that came.
Those are a pain in the butt, I think we need to.
You know, and maybe because I looked at it, I wanted to see if I could see the document before signing it. Maybe that made it disappear.
Shouldn't have if you didn't sign it.
No, and I didn't. Yeah. Okay, now I can put this aside and call DIS. Oh, what did you find out on that?
Here it is.
You found it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's on the,
We'll use your computer.
Friday the 3rd, last Friday.
I can probably read it easier.
Well, it's on my personal, do you get that stuff on your personal?
Sometimes. I'll check. And it's John Elthoff?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to download the DocuSign app?
Yeah, oh, no. We don't need
No.
the app.
No.
Can't we just open it and sign it?
Alternate signing method. So. Let's see what the documents, see, so it must be alternate signing method. Huh?
We
It's
can
the only,
talk
it's the only, it's the only choices you got.
Let's,
Oh, wait,
oh,
review,
look, there you have a
we go.
preview. Okay, let's
There
preview
you
that.
go.
I'm gonna get this out of the way since it doesn't have any emails on it. And if you don't mind if I read it on yours
No,
and,
it'll cost you.
okay.
Oh, it says for your security, we've sent you a new link.
Oh, I didn't get a new, yeah.
There,
And so I'll pay you in chocolate,
there's a
okay?
little deal in the corner there that just said something. for Jim.
Okay, let me shut this down. Trying.
You probably have to close, there it is. What's that say?
Ah. Oh,
It's gonna come and go.
this site, oh, I don't know, I was wondering, was that okay for it?
I'm probably gonna have to. Okay, here you go. Here.
Shut down. Okay, wait a second. That took me forever to find. Okay.
It's
Do
all
not.
yours.
Okay, well, I want you guys to read it before I sign it.
Maybe
So
we
give
know
me-
what it is.
We think we do.
Okay.
Let me just see.
Okay, Kenny.
What'd you call me?
Okay, Kenny.
You have to use a mouse with this?
You don't have to, you can use your fingerprint.
Yeah, okay. So do not share this email, stop.
You may have to go back, I showed that. What is that, review? Oh, you
Yeah,
can-
maybe I can
okay,
just sign it
setting.
right there.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Now you got me out of my rhythm here.
I know, I'm sorry, but I
don't
didn't
remember what
want
the
to
date is.
know your location.
Well, here, some of these are sheriff's office. Do you not
Oh,
want me doing
no,
this?
you can, I just didn't know how to figure them to, check. And so Roman said they were easy for him. I agreed to use electronic records and signatures. So this is the Tammy Drive. But what about the fact that there's not a date in there?
A date for what?
This agreement made this blank between the state of Montana and Mineral County. See right there?
Oh, maybe to fill it in.
When I signed it.
Because they just sent you this again, they don't know what date it is.
Okay. Oh, right there. Now we'll see who this comes up as.
You.
Yeah, but we'll see by a DocuSign. Oh,
There you go.
we're pretty smart. Adopt and sign. I just thought it wouldn't be,
No, I clued it,
updated.
I clued it.
Oh, you did,
Said
okay.
don't ever do that again. She was offended. I said, you don't want to piss this lady off. So they said, all right, we're good.
Okay, yeah, you
No
got
kidding.
that right.
No,
You know
I'm
that,
serious,
don't
yeah.
you? Save a copy of your document. Do I wanna save? No,
Probably.
because-
Well, I
Oh,
don't,
we do have a, okay, what's our password?
I don't.
I
For
can't
what?
remember. For MC commissioners, what do we have to
Oh, I
change
don't.
it?
I never ever. So Casey used to do it by the season. So
Well,
spring.
but DIS gave this one to us.
Oh,
Remember, big test star?
oh.
Something like that, I don't know.
I seen it somewhere the other day.
Did I email that to you?
It was something under 18 with an asterisk. Snap test. Jesus, how did I remember that? I couldn't remember to tie my shoes. Huh? Genius. I hate to admit it. What do you think, Roman?
About what?
Am I a genius or what?
What?
And just say yes.
Well, you gave me the option.
It's gotta be,
Am I a
Genius
genius
is a
or what?
genius.
So I
it's gotta,
said
it's
what?
gotta be a vote of confidence here.
Well, then don't give me the option.
Okay, Roman, I'm a genius, aren't I?
Yes, you are,
Okay,
Wade.
thank
You
you.
betcha.
Okay, here you go, but
All right.
you don't want me to save that password there, do you, or yes?
No. Well,
I know, for MC Commissioner, you probably should have, but you,
I probably,
thank you,
I'll call you.
at 2 a.m. and, okay, good, that's done.
That's what it was, all right?
Well, it worked, but I guess that wouldn't know. But you said there was an 18,
Yeah, that's it.
okay, because that's what I put, so,
Yep.
plus
And then-
everything else,
and
okay.
then- Yeah. Okay, I got it. Now you've soiled my computer.
I know. Do you want me to get some spray?
No, we're good. Oh. Okay. So maybe if you can help Darren before the day is over, I wanna go to that. There's a
Oh, yeah,
forest-
he told me that he was signing you up for it.
Okay, there's a Forester County's thing in March, I think.
Okay.
I have to look.
He did tell me that Wednesday, that you were going. I didn't realize he needed help, but yes, of course.
Well, I don't know if he needs help or not. I just told him, get me signed up this time so I got a room. And I'm not staying at the Surrey.
Yeah.
It isn't much of a deal.
Mhm. Is this in Missoula?
No, it's not funny. Should be in Missoula. Well, I think they had the last one in Missoula. Why? Oh, let's see.
Where do you sign his? And I don't know how
The
to
back.
figure his out. You sign his on the back?
Yep. Just put the date right there. and that's approved. I just initial right there.
Yep.
I don't know if it's right, as good as they're gonna get. If I have to start writing my whole name out, I'll tell you.
DT by way of DS.
There you go.
Yep.
See, there's a rhythm you get in, and you can just whip them out. But then, no, somebody has to, somebody has to question, oh, who's John Alta? Is he a Borough?
I know. I know.
Who's this guy? He doesn't work for the Borough.
Got it rough. I know.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Did you hear that? He said they were just gonna, they were gonna cut people, and they can put it back on the truck, because they can put more of those cans in the truck. I said, that makes about as much sense as anything else that does. Whatever. If it happens, it happens. I doubt that, but couldn't hold my breath. are hauling logs in there.
Oh,
They can't-
really?
Well, they can't get enough trucks. So like, my grandson's working up here in Deep Creek, and they can't get enough trucks to keep a steady stream going. Time they haul Coeur d'Alene or wherever, I don't even know where they're hauling them to, but I imagine Coeur d'Alene, most of them. And if they go north or if they go south, they have to go to Lewiston, geez, that's probably better,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much one trip.
I can't, that would be,
How do they make money? No, that's, well, they thought they'd make more, and I said, I don't know how they made money since they shut the head rig down and quit taking the big loads in that mill, and you were sorting everything out and putting them in a pile, and then once their trucks would come in, and they haul. Well, how do they make money on that? Well, they probably just didn't their trucks, and they were probably just renting the truck and all stuff. But now, you got more volume going in there, and maybe they will do something with it, I doubt it. I don't know. That would mean they probably wouldn't call me anyway.
we don't wanna go, do you? Anyway?
For 3 days a week, I can do it, 4 days a week, maybe. I don't know, we'll see.
Why would we be asked about sick leave?
Who is it? Oh, I don't know.
I hate to sign it with that question on there, cause I don't wanna verify that.
Who is it? Well, you have to verify it. She approved it.
Who's questioning it?
I don't know.
Everyone likes to go upstairs.
But if Guna approved it,
Did she, I don't understand
she
who's
did.
asking us why there's about the sick leave here.
Again, find out. That's a sticky note that was,
It was on there, I don't know who wrote it or anything, but I don't wanna sign it without knowing why someone's questioning that.
unless there wasn't the balance. Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. In the balance, that there's not enough to cover unless that was entered after the sick leave. We'll find out.
Okay.
I knew I was forgetting something.
Hello, Darren.
Hi! I got a question on identifying somebody. I'm not sure who she is, but I know you guys know her, so I just pointed it out to you.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just someone else. No, it's just for the 11 minutes I need to know who it is. Don't know who it is.
right, can you describe what was the situation?
It was a public comment, it was on January 6th.
And she didn't sign in?
Well, she might have, I just don't know who she is, like, I don't know her name or anything, I just put everybody.
So here's what I do. Well, I put present and everybody's name that's on the list goes there. And then I say citizen
Okay.
for the comments that they made.
Okay, that's what I did.
Yeah,
what comment did she make?
It was the one that said she was worried about Roman going.
Oh, Marlis.
Marlon
Schwatter.
Yeah.
but we do want to stay consistent, so if you're,
If I know her, not just her name.
well, we want to stay consistent. If we're going to keep it, here's everyone that was present, citizen, citizen, citizen. If we're changing that to say, she said, naming them,
I see.
yeah,
Oh,
That's what it was.
well, I put who they are in the
present,
present,
yeah.
citizen name, and then I just used their name and.
I don't think we do. I think we call that citizen said.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
I need to change everything.
Yep.
I'll move it in January.
Don't go back to now, but that's the format.
Okay.
And we can check public meeting laws, but I believe that's where I got that from.
Okay.
If not me.
Okay. All right.
That's why.
going forward.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wally steal my chair?
Looks like he did. Be careful when you, yep.
Take out the camera.
I didn't read that one, I want to. I think that's an important one.
Yeah. Both of them are.
Yeah, I didn't get anything wrong.
Already forgot.
I can never leave anywhere without having to go back like at least twice.
Which one did you just say was good? Which one did you just?
The grant one?
Oh, okay, that's it.
They're both good.
Yeah.
So.
Mm.
You want to look at the sheriff's department or? Not at the jail either? Oh, okay.
Just look here.
Oh. That's a good.
My wife works there.
Oh, cool, very cool.
I'm retired, I'm not doing
Call me when you get back.
Mike,
Don't worry about it. Call me when you get back.
that is unbelievable. Yep, I got it, and then you make it quick
I'm
too.
thinking it'd be better just.
I know.
30 years on the police department or?
Where's phone this?
Not a long time.
Yeah.
There it
It
is.
is.
Sounds like there's always lots of big cases going on down there, you know, like, if you watch the news, there's always like big deal things.
Yeah, I worked in a
Where's the
suburb
one?
of Chicago, we bordered the south side,
Oh, uh-huh,
so we're a city of about 30,000 people,
oh, yeah,
but we had, we were busy.
I didn't do notepad, Don.
we had that spillover, I'm sure, right?
Filling these suckers up.
We
You can
We have
order those from
around-
the city.
Oh, right.
between maybe
I thought I just had to
20
buy
to
No,
32 on the
no.
side.
Sometimes I did, and then sometimes
I
I
need
would
one in
change.
emergency.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That was one of my questions.
Under gangs.
Where are the
drugs.
bids?
And you should have those, that's a good sign.
And they've been to Chicago before, because, not this summer, but the summer before, we drove through on Woodville, Ohio, and we had planned to stay.
Oh, man. See, I'm behind the eight ball already. This only takes a second.
Even a nice, you know, beaches, you know,
Yeah.
it's got a hotel there, you know, but it really changes at the end of the day.
Yes,
It was
yes,
a
yes, yes. It's
totally
getting
different
worse.
place.
It's getting worse. Before, you'd be able to walk down there all the time,
Did this get
even
held
at
up?
night, with no problems. Now you can't.
Is that the one from Wally? No,
Yeah.
I didn't even get it. Until this morning.
And that's totally fine too, whatever we had, you know, they said, museums stay open late, and there are restaurants, everything, so you know, shop, eat till 9 o'clock at night.
I tried to get
You don't
it.
have to sit
Yeah.
down, instead of changing, you know, and we ended up not staying there for, ended up driving on, but, this is, people, I don't even know what they were arguing about, but they were just arguing, throwing stuff, taking clothes off, and just crazy stuff, you know?
There's some crazy things going on there.
It's really cool.
I'm gonna quick eat my soup.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They have parks,
Stuff.
they have the beach,
We
the
got, I
lake.
forget, we got the break too, don't we?
Yeah, so we do actually have, well, 5 minutes. Yeah, just 5.
We got about 7 or 8.
Yeah, if I could do it right now. So Payne West, that is for you to open because,
But there were those, you know, I don't know, like an open air cafe and restaurant.
that's you, Payne
Where
West.
they bring you out and do it.
Right.
That was really cool.
What's nice,
And that's an HR
The boat tour.
thing, right?
Cool.
they do a boat tour on the Chicago River.
I haven't ever seen one of these, but I know what it is. You wanna take a look at this? I've never seen this. I think it's a bond for a treasurer's office. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's interesting.
they do have to do that.
Yeah.
Why is that first?
You can, yeah, that's interesting, we've never gotten one before.
Built it.
Maybe we've just never seen them before.
I would have though, as commissioner's assistant, because it came to, who did it come to? Oh, to commissioners, oh, maybe we never got it. I mean, other students have it.
Fancy or what is it?
It's nice, I'll tell you what.
Good morning, Diane.
Good for lunch.
Good, thank you, how
Me and a
about you?
couple coworkers, we had done it before.
Yeah.
Oh, here's this, dear.
We said go there for lunch.
Use that?
When you check in, you take your name off. And then they sit you. The person there calls you by your name. It'll be Mr. or so, Mrs. So, everybody. It was good too, it was very nice view. He's right there on the river. The restaurant looks down the river into the lake.
Do you see how, did you see how long that was good for?
They were good, that's my rule.
How long did it run?
I'm not sure.
Just a year?
Don, I just threw it in Don's.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fine.
didn't know what it was, so I didn't even open it.
I was just curious to get on
Retirement.
for that
We used to come out here
amount.
like once a year to
The
vacation.
duration of their employment.
We just found this some land.
Certain things you're only.
Oh, no, it says effective 23
Once
to
I was retired.
24.
So it's a year, because I know, like, if you go into business and sell guns, you gotta renew it every year for a month. And you know that, because I might start my own business someday.
There you go. Keep winning them bets. Well, that was a pretty good move that you put on me there in the fall. So are you gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Am I gonna bet on it?
No, are you gonna be in it?
Oh, no. I'm retired from playing.
Yeah.
I used to have great moves. I believe it or not, I used to not be a pudgy,
You could juke them.
I used to be an animal.
Travis, he was never very tall, but he was fast. He had the niftiest juke moves.
Yeah.
Oh, they were standing there. I mean, there was kids that were just as fast as him that were big kids, A few of them knocked the shit out of him too. And Drummond and Peeper and some of them kids. He still knows their names.
Farm boys.
Yeah. But yeah, the normal guy out there, he'd come up to him from here to that camera. Tell you my going.
I learned, in high school, I came from a bigger school and I've been playing since I was a kid. So when I came to Superior, my only move was basically to run over, and that's what I did all through high school. I didn't learn any of the fancy moves until I got to college, but I couldn't run them over no more.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot of fancy tricks. I was quick with them. Now I'm slow, but boy, I could hit a swim and like smack them in the back of the head and then spin off of it. Like I could put two moves together, boom, 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 in a matter of seconds.
I'll tell you, you wonder about some of them guys. You watch some of them big guys. Can you believe some of these defensive ends and stuff, how big they are?
Oh, I know.
I mean, they ought to be playing basketball. They shouldn't be on the football field.
Like Miles Garrett from Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's like 6'6",
Yeah.
295. He can dunk a basketball just standing.
I would put him in on every play.
Oh, he is. He never comes
Yeah,
out.
but not
Put him
just
on offense too.
I was gonna say, not just defense, I'd have him on offense too. Sorry, kid, you signed up.
Yeah, he's too valuable.
Yeah,
All right, I'll be
pretty
back.
amazing.
I know, you know what's amazing is how much they make.
I know, that's what's amazing. You know what? What's really amazing is that America puts up with it. We don't have any homeless people, do we?
No.
Everybody someplace else, and then new folks are coming in. It changes the way things are, so, yeah, so we got this one. Yes.
So that's what, when we first bought the property, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And, we talked to some people who live there around us, and I told them, listen, I'm not changing nothing.
Yes, yes,
I
yeah.
said, you won't even know, you won't even know we're here.
Yeah, just ignore us.
I mean, we're doing do as little, much to, just enough for us to live there, and that's it.
Oh, that's
I'm not cutting trees, I'm not doing nothing, I'm not, you know, I'm not, so, we just wanna live here, we don't wanna change to here.
Right, yeah, you know, that's exactly what we were, one time some folks were coming by, I think they were from Colorado, and they were trying to do something with the school district. And we said,
That's what you did.
because that's not here, you know, we're not interested in any changes, you know, we want it to stay exactly how it is, so, yeah.
Because I remember when we first started looking at properties, we looked up there,
If you don't think the letter's polite enough, they won't send
we
you
were in.
Which one?
Either one.
Oh, no, I think they're fine.
I was polite
You
too.
can play.
Town it was now.
Well,
Well, but this, you mother.
that's what I would do. Well, you're encouraging me now. Then we'd have both been in trouble.
Oh, okay,
You know?
oh, that's
We were driving.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The two letters they gave you, look at this.
And they were like, once they found out, okay, they're talking to us, they're like, okay.
They're both here.
Oh, okay.
Over here, they're showing you.
I just moved to the office. One of you guys,
They were pretty good streets.
you heard the guys tell me to do it. We had a lot of fun.
I was gonna come in, I was gonna come in on Wednesday, to give it 27, he came in,
Say five
it
or
was the only cover sheet or whatever. Yeah, I kind of thought today,
That'd be fine,
yeah,
that'd be good.
so I didn't, I thought, well, I don't wanna drive all the way down.
We were, yeah, it was chaos. We lighted the corner.
You're just right.
Oh, it's just their fault.
Yeah.
It's good for a year.
Good morning. The meeting will start. Please stand for the pledge. Remove your hats. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good morning.
Okay, I'll try to do that. You can steal it. Might be disappointed it's gonna defeat at least one.
10:05, Diane Magone. Looks like you're up to talk about a multi-county raise grant application.
Yikes. Good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
good to see everybody. Yes, I'm here to talk about the rough draft of the multi-county raise planning grant that we are applying for, Mineral County is applying for along with Butte Silver Bowl, Powell, Granite, Missoula, and us. And this is to study the proposed length of the trail, where the trail will be between the Continental Divide all the way to the Idaho-Montana border. And they have done a rough draft, they got a lot of feedback, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it or not, Wally, did you?
I did, yeah.
And you might have had some of the same feedback we had. We did meet as our coalition met on Monday morning, and that was with Powell, Missoula, and Mineral Counties, and 3 of our board members were there. Jim Goss and Bert and myself were there. And then we met again, Jackson Lee from Missoula County and Amanda Cooley from Powell County with Brooke Lincoln on Tuesday morning via Zoom call, because we had so many questions. But I think we've got them all ironed out now. I'm gonna run over a couple of them. One thing, they were looking at submitting the engineering companies, which is
DJ&A?
thank you, DJ&A, we're looking at 600 and some odd thousand. Well, that doesn't even put us in the running because the minimum was $1 million, so that was kind of back to the drawing board right there. I have a whole bunch of comments that I sent out to you all this morning, and I have to apologize, I just got them this morning. And I brought them, I printed them off, but I can barely read them. Some of the things that we commented on was, first of all, to just change the comprise of local entities and nonprofit stakeholders because we're considered a part of that coalition. We also talked about the fact that at some point in here it says something, and I'm sure you caught this, Wally, that if it goes over the 30%, the counties would be, have to put up extra money, and we made that clear when we talked to them on Monday, that no way would Mineral County do that. So they've revised that part to take out all but Missoula and Butte Silverbow, because they do have money in case things go over to their individual projects. So that's been clarified. Is that one of your questions?
That was one of them.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't just be paid any-
That's a big one, yeah.
Diane,
So
do we have that revision? Was that taken out?
I do not have it.
it's not done yet.
Oh, no, I just wondered, because that's such an important piece, that revision.
It is not done yet. The revision?
Yeah.
Revised draft? No,
Well, the revision of taking out the fact that we would have to pay over 30%.
it's in this,
Okay,
which I sent out this morning. So
okay,
yes, you
yeah,
should
okay.
have it.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't have Blaine's email and I don't have yours, so I don't know if you got it or not. Did you happen to see it and forward it to them?
This morning I did not know.
Yeah, and I just got it from Jacqueline this morning, so
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine, but so it is in that
it's
revision?
in this.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm gonna talk about that more, but
Okay.
when we get the final draft, I mean, that's been thoroughly addressed, believe me.
Okay.
You know, it's like, yes. So, and that was just for the 30% overrides, or went up to a higher level of assessment in the grant application.
Well, Diane, while you're talking about the 30%, what's the involvement with the other counties regarding that overreach 30%?
Well, what it is
Are they have their own special percentages?
no, the whole trail will be looked at for alignment, right-of-ways, design, or not design, everything but design, but assessed, you know, and certain issues will be dealt with, which I'll talk about a little bit more. And I believe the 30% is to look at more of a design, an actual design process, which the Southeast Trestle already has been done. DJ and A have already done that, and they have that now. They did it in 2020, so I've done it twice, actually. It's been paid for twice, so they took the Southeast Trestle off that list because we already have that information. So that would be looking at certain things that are, certain projects that are already designated, that they would start looking at design work on. What happened was they took out the Southeast Trestle for Mineral County, and I requested they put in the stretch from Tarkio to Superior on Old Highway 10 as an area of focus instead, because that's the most dangerous piece, I think, left in Mineral County, really. It's, 60-mile-an-hour traffic, two-way traffic with no shoulders in some areas. So they're gonna be focusing on that in Mineral County instead. It's not 30%. They'll just be looking at right-of-ways and easements and working with MDOT, you know, to try to.
Yeah, I was backing up when you said from the Rocky Mountains to, you know, involve other counties. You mentioned Powell
Mhm.
and some others, so I was trying to understand their involvement with what they have to pony up versus ours, or they blended or merged, or they each have a different kind of amount of money that they're expecting.
No, not really, but kind of, if they start looking at the design and if it does go over. Missoula and Powell's actually kind of in our boat. They're pretty much in our shoes too. And they're concerned, and we've talked about this, but Missoula and Silverbow have projects that are further along than we do. So they'll be looking at those. Not that we don't have, the Route of the Olympian still needs work route of the
No, you're right, the Olympic.
Olympian, yeah, not the highway. Yeah, it still needs work, so, it'll be looked at too. It doesn't need design work though. And so the only counties that have money in their budgets, like I said, are Butte, Silver Bow, and Missoula. So we, clarified, like I said, to make sure that we don't have to pay more. So those 30% over budget, 30% over is design work on those projects that have already been identified in those two counties. We've talked a lot, and Amanda Cooley feels the same way from Powell County, that we don't want to get left in the dust like smaller counties routinely have. But I think they have a really vested interest because it's one big project. So, and they're also, need to read the part about the Saltese Trestle. Regarding the Saltese Trestle, agreed that it may be best fit for inclusion within solely the feasibility study, but use it as a case study for how the feasibility study moves partners closer to the end goals. In this case, retrofit of the existing structure and transfer of ownership to a public entity. Then it goes on to say, we've got existing engineering study, so opportunity to resolve potential ROW conflicts right of way, which is underneath the trestle. Work towards structuring an ownership transfer by identifying funding sources for retrofitting the trestle. My eyes are so bad. Source further information / value areas, or value adds of the feasibility study to the existing engineering design by referencing the document, which we believe, which they know, was compiled by DJNA a few years back. So this is Jackson goes on to say, this would be a great way to include the Saltese Trestle in the application and demonstrate the tangible outcomes of the feasibility study, how it shifts from concept to action. So the trestle is going to be a big highlight for them, even though it's, and what it'll do is it'll position the trestle in a really good spot for future building grants. And Missoula and the rest of our coalition will work on that after we get done with this grant, so that'll be a big focus. And Brooke and I really advocated for that, especially Brooke. I mean, she's been living and breathing this for about 40 years now. So I feel confident that we're not going to be left out. They are putting more money into the grant application fee, which Missoula and Powell actually is, but that's really, and they've got more projects identified, but they're not going to be leaving us out, we'll make sure that happens.
So you said that the rough draft is not, the new rough draft is still being drawn.
Yeah, Jacqueline is working on it as we speak. Hopefully, I'm not sure when it's slated to be done. If you have any input other than what I've covered today, let me know right away, because once the new rough draft is really not a rough draft, it's more of a final draft. Let's see what else Jim said. Well, there was one reference, and maybe you caught this too, Wally. Entirely separated from vehicle traffic is inaccurate. And of course, we've talked about that because some of our trails are going to be multi-use, including the trestle. And we've made that clear from the very start. And Kevin Ballinger, when he came through here, agreed that in areas like this, that's the way it's going to be. So that's going to be rephrased so that it's clear that in some rural areas it may be a multi-use trail. He wanted to know about the Western Montana Cross Country Coalition. That's our coalition that we're meeting as. We just didn't have a name. The money he asked about. Another question, just Missoula is seeing growth in rural communities. He said that didn't sound right. So they're changing that to, I believe, Missoula County. I don't know. Or county, I don't know what they're doing with that. The third mineral project would be Crystal Springs to Tarkio. And I've contacted Jacqueline to fill that in. We have submitted the grant. The trails trails, whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, to the Fish, Wildlife and Parks, so, for 48,000. So anyway, the final draft will include graphics, and I think that Great American, or the Rail to Trail Conservancy is helping with that, also maps and pictures. So if anybody has any good pictures of anywhere along the way, let me know right away. We did send in some of the trestle and whatnot, so.
So Diane, is the purpose of us looking at this rough draft so that we know what's going to be coming in the final?
To make any changes that you catch,
Okay, and so we submit those changes to you.
they should have been done Wednesday, and I think I made that, I think I
Okay,
said that
so
last Wednesday.
so that's done. We can be assured then when you send out the final, that it's everything we're already aware of and ready to sign, because I know that time is of the essence. And you did give us that week-long notice to look through the material and,
Well, it wasn't quite a week, it was from Sunday till Wednesday, I know, I thought we were gonna have a week, but
yeah, I thought,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
we were
about
gonna
that.
get
Yeah,
a week.
things are just moving fast, but with all these changes, suggested changes, I think that they'll be working on it this weekend, so if you look at it today or tomorrow morning and find anything glaring that wasn't included in these changes, let me know right away,
Mhm,
and I think we can probably slip it in.
mhm. Probably slip it in,
Well,
probably,
as far as I know.
okay. So
I
it
think
seems to
she's
me
gonna be
that
working on it for a little while, in other words, with all the changes that they
So-
recommended.
we are completely dependent on the county attorney to be able to go through that and make sure that.
Well, he said he already did go.
I know, but with
Yeah,
your final,
I also have a list of some other
Well,
stuff.
you'll get it
to
too.
add. So
Yes.
before you leave today, grab me, I'll go upstairs and grab that copy for you, because I've got a list of things to add to it.
Okay, do you wanna talk about them? I've got a few more minutes.
The only list I added was in the list of who they wanted to talk to was just the tribe. I said, no, add the rest, add Grand Cours Ranch, add Western Montana Historic, the Forest Service Museum, each county's museum society or historic society, because the museums are incredible. They left all those off. I said, no, put all those on. So
Okay.
add that to your list of what you're consulting with. We added that to the list to do that.
And I think that was brought up in this,
The copy
Molly
I got,
somewhere.
it wasn't on.
did you get this one already?
No, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I think it was brought up to let people know what's along the trail to the historic stuff. So
Right,
yes,
for all of
I
them.
would appreciate that list.
Yep.
Anything else?
There were some typos and some other
Yeah.
small things like that. And I caught the issue of the 30% of the county wasn't supposed to spend more money. That was the first thing I got.
I know, yeah,
That
same
was
here.
part of the discussion we had when we approved it in the first place. I made it a point, we got that, a couple of things like that, but that's the biggest stuff.
Yeah, that was a big issue because I had reassured everybody that too, and I'd been reassured that, so it's been cleared up, but you will get a copy of the final draft, and if there's anything really glaring, of course, we've gotta say something, but again, the deadline is the 28th.
The one piece that was left off in terms of the discussion is what's the link from basically Sear Bridge to Alberton?
That's about 4.5 miles,
Yeah.
5 miles.
But-
And that's not connected yet.
That's the piece I'm asking about. Where's the connection proposed there?
We don't know yet because it's a planning grant. And that's the purpose of the grant.
Yeah.
Is to answer those
But
questions.
see, that question wasn't in the draft I had.
I don't know, what do you mean?
You mean there's no, you've got the MRL, or now the BN Railroad against the cut, you've got the river, then you've got the interstate, then you've got the old Milwaukee, which part of it is currently part of a trail, and then it dead ends suddenly at the private property
Mhm.
Exactly.
through the Dune Ranch to the Cedar Bridge.
Right.
There's no connectivity.
So my question was, because that's one of the few places that there is no connection. At
And
all.
we have-
I'm not being critical, I'm just
No,
saying.
no,
And I thought, why isn't that question in there? How are you gonna route it there? Because Alberton to that piece, because once you got the rest of it from there on, it's great. And when you get to Tarkio, you got a cruise from there on.
Yeah.
That one piece just has
No, we've
nothing.
talked about that, and that's gonna be all
And it
part of.
wasn't in my copy.
Okay, that's gonna be all part of the planning grant. I also sent them, maps of that area, from Sear all the way through the piece that we're doing with DNRC back to Tarkio. So I don't know if those will be included, but, the planning grant will address all those things, because that's not the only piece that's bad. You also have to get back on the freeway at, Slowway, and come into St. Regis, and go through St. Regis, and then come back, go up, Red Bull, what's the name of,
Red Hill?
no,
Oh.
the Little Joe, and hook into the Route of the Olympia. So, yeah, those will all be
And there may
addressed.
be a county road through Slower to St. Regis.
There is. It's a back road across the river, and we will be looking at that. I've talked with Emily Park, and we've talked about it, but if the Route of the Olympian Trail, it ends at the St. Joe Road, and then they used to allow people to go across, there's like 3 pieces of private property there, but there's a little bridge, a railroad bridge, that is no longer safe to cross, and that's another area we will be looking at with the planning grant. And that would come in.
That's all private now, Diane.
Yes, yes, yeah, the St. Regis something or other LLC, and then a couple of private people. But, then that would come into Coal Creek, and then I think that might be what you're talking about. If we were going on the South Side Road from Coal Creek all the way to Dry Creek, we could do that. And we will look at that option. So, because otherwise, there's not much you can do, but you'd have to come all the way.
Well, I guess I don't understand what you'll do with that private piece.
That's what the planning grant would look at, is, talking to private landowners, seeing if they're willing to provide a right-of-way, doing all that, background work to try to define exactly where the trail will go. So that's what this planning thing would do, this planning grant. And that may be an option to come around Coal Creek and cut across there, or come around Coal Creek, come into St. Regis. Right?
Well, I only asked the question on the piece there, because you and I know that piece well, because we've been there together.
Well, and it's so narrow, there's no other way around it.
That's the whole thing. And so that was like, that is a connective link, that's a really important piece of the puzzle.
We've talked about
Because
that.
from there to Missoula, I can drive the whole way, or ride a bike the whole way, I've done it. Not being on the freeway the whole way.
Not quite.
Yeah, from Missoula to where you end on that ground this side of Alberton, I can ride a bike to
So
Missoula.
where do you come through Alberton, connecting between 9 Mile? I mean,
highway.
where do you come from 9 Mile to 6 Mile?
Go up 9 Mile Road, take the 6 Mile Road.
Oh, go way around, just go around.
You'll go around by the
6 Mile.
remount station.
Yeah, and I
Exactly.
actually think Missoula might be looking at that, that's Missoula County. And that's because when I talked to Jackson Lee, when he came down here, he said, yeah, that gives me an idea, because I said, is there a way to go up around that way? And he said, yeah. So yes, that'll be looked at with the planning grant.
Slim's been riding the bike on that for more than 50 years.
So how long does it take you to go around that way?
Not that long, it's 4 hours and 20 minutes from Slack Point, used to be up there with the ranch, Checkpoint Ranch used to be up there.
How many miles would that add,
Yeah, that's what I'm
About
asking.
6.
6 miles?
To make that, to get off, the trail goes to 6 Mile already. There's a.
Goes up 6 Mile Road, it's paved,
No, but I'm talking about the trail that's already done, that comes from Frenchtown to 6 Mile.
yeah,
So that's where they have to come, so go up 6 Mile Road and come around, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think they'll look at that.
Okay.
And speaking of that, well, sorry, they actually could connect without having to do that, because the state bought the old Richardson Ranch
Yeah,
for a wildlife, they're gonna build a
corridor, yeah.
corridor for elk to go under the interstate. And so that kind of butts up against near the top of 9 Mile Hill. And if they could get through the Richardson Ranch and up to the top of 9 Mile Hill, then they wouldn't have to go up to the remount station.
That's
They
true,
could connect back on Old 10, right there by the 9 Mile exit.
exactly.
So if we get the grant, and when we start looking at that, I'll let them know both of you have some information.
Anna Marie, sorry,
Anna Marie,
go
that's
ahead.
That's okay. So I have a question. So I am between Fish Creek and Crystal Springs,
Mm-hmm,
65 west, and the Milwaukee goes right through my property. And there isn't any place for anything extra, Highway 10, the freeway, and then we've got the on-ramp and the off-ramp. But nobody's, when will you guys be talking to private landowners?
I don't know. With the planning grant, we're already working with the DNRC, you know, where you could turn off to go down to, Nichols, whatever.
Mhm.
You go straight into DNRC land.
Mhm.
And we're working with them to get across that little piece.
So I'm east of the Nichols. So the
Okay.
Nichols have I allow access to them from the property, our property. So, but they're west of us, so we're east of that.
Okay, I know where you are then.
Yeah, so I don't know where there would be any way to.
Well, they'll be riding on the old Highway 10.
Okay.
There's just a couple of sections we're concerned about with more traffic, but, if you get off at Sear,
Yeah.
you can get on Old Highway 10, go across the old scenic bridge
Mhm.
on a bicycle,
Uh-huh.
come back under the freeway,
Uh-huh.
and then just go on Highway 10 until you get to DNRC land.
Okay, so then you would stay. So
We
The
may
bridge-
put some there is an area, I don't know, they may look at some areas between the freeway and Highway 10.
okay.
And I don't know who owns that, I don't know if it's FWP or DNRC or private even.
It is privately owned in the bridge, the actual trestle is owned privately.
Yes.
It's out of Missoula, yeah.
Yes, but we won't be using the trestle, it's just the scenic bridge, which is public still, I believe, right? It's still highway.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anna Marie, the
Yeah, there's
trail
just
sort
no
of,
access.
it kind of uses a little, they want to kind of use the Milwaukee, but they can't because a lot of it's been purchased by private people. So
Right, yeah.
it kind of jumps off of the railroad trail part to Old Highway 10, where they're mainly so bicyclists can continuously ride without having to be on the interstate.
Yeah.
So when it goes across the scenic bridge, which is blocked off to vehicular traffic, the state did that years ago.
Yeah.
They just continue, they're not gonna be on your Milwaukee private land, they're gonna go right on through by the Zootown Surfers, continue on the county road to where the old Hall Ranch is, where the Nichols lease. And then it comes into private property, which she
Right.
said they did get some permission from the Austins and others and DNRC
Mhm.
to make the trail now continue on to Tarkio, then when they hit Tarkio come by the boat launch area, then they
Yeah.
jump back on the old 10, go into Superior, so it's kind of a hodgepodge of Milwaukee,
Right.
Old 10, Milwaukee, Old 10.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, there may be some private landowners that have stretches of old Milwaukee that will grant us a right of way, but that's to be seen.
Yeah, yeah.
Diane, is there a meeting that Anna Marie could attend, one of your groups, that she
Of
would get
course.
a better explanation, more in-depth?
I've got written information too that I
Yeah.
can send you. So yeah, if you give me your email address, I will definitely forward all that, and you're welcome to come to our meetings. I don't think they don't have to meet the open meeting law because we're a nonprofit, I guess, but you're sure, we welcome anybody, and anybody that would like to participate.
Okay, so we only have a minute left, our next guest is here, but I do want to ask you, so then what are you expecting from us in the next week?
Nothing, just
Okay.
your signature on the grant. when
Well,
it
that's
gets there.
something.
Well, you've already agreed, it's already
Uh-huh.
been, I think it maybe was when you were gone, but it's already been voted on, that
Okay,
Mineral County would be a co-sponsor.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd have to vote again, it'd be another action item or not, because you've already agreed.
we'll go back and look, yeah, if it's
Yeah.
already been agreed that we would sign this, but you anticipate sending that to us when, so that we have a
As soon
team,
as I get it,
which could be,
probably within the next week, as fast as we've gotta move,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
And then Wally, it's coming up to you.
Mhm.
Yep, okay, I just
And
wanted to know
if you
how
would
we're
call
proceeding.
me, so we can talk about it right away,
Mhm.
as soon as you do it,
Mhm.
because like I said, I mean, the deadline is quickly approaching.
Right, and we do want to be careful, and we talked about this, we don't ever, we're moving away from being rushed to, we need to sign this right now. And so that's why I appreciated that you gave us a week to look at things, and
I am sorry, it's really compacted.
it is, because none of us have had an opportunity to look at our emails today. So that's a complete surprise and a little off
You may get
kilter,
more
but
surprises.
Okay, as long as the time is there to really have time to look through it and know what it is that we're
Mhm.
signing. Okay,
And maybe what, like I said.
well, yeah, it'll definitely go to
So
Wally,
call me
yes.
right as soon as you get it. Okay, thank you very much. It's
Thank you.
exciting. It's a big, huge project all the way across our country. And Mineral County, I think, has almost 100 miles of it. So we've got them beat in the number of miles as far as the rest of the trail, so.
Do you have a bicycle ready to go when this
I
is
have
done?
3 of them already, but I still can't write them.
Thank you, Diane.
Roman, we should write a note to add to it that I didn't add yet about looking for that route there.
Yeah,
Just because I think it's an important piece of the puzzle, because if that piece is done, it makes life so much better.
Okay, and we are gonna go ahead and move right into our 10:35 because the health department is always very busy. So I want you to be able to step right up and get to it.
This is new. This is intimidating.
It is new. And we do, the microphone, if there's a way you can position yourself, it's just so people in the back of the room can hear what is being said. I know. Wrong way, Jen.
I was angling myself this way.
Right into the mic there.
Oh,
There
Okay.
you go.
now.
well, not too loud, because then
Then I have to be careful, yeah, because I'm so
echoes, if
loud.
you're too close, it echoes.
Well,
Good morning.
good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Well, I thought I'd just come by and update you on what we are up to. Mostly it is transition time, so a lot of our funding is winding down at the end of June, and we don't really want to lose our staffing. So we're looking for staffing, ways to support our current staff, but also targeting funds, so grants and opportunities that continue our current projects and also are going to align with the needs that surface from our community health assessment, which we just completed and we're tallying right now. So one of those is this Pathways funding, and we've been doing this type of work. It allows us to do accreditation type activities. We've been doing this work since, I don't know, probably 2018 or 19. And so this funding is 2 years worth, and it will allow us to continue that and give us staff time to do it. And then we're just working on a lot of things. So what would you like to know? What questions do you have for me? I just wanted to come and say hello and let you know what we're up to. And
Is it pretty much the same in terms of the funding and all that? So, county isn't expected to pay any more on this round?
no, we're not accepting any kind of funding that has like match requirements or anything like that. We're really cautious with those. One of the ones we've had forever, Public Health Emergency Preparedness, that has this year required us to start telling them about match stuff, but it's not a problem. We're already covering those needs. So this one doesn't have any bells or whistles attached. It's a combination of funding from the Montana Healthcare Foundation, so a little bit of private and then some from the CDC grant.
So a continuation of what we're already accustomed to, right?
Yeah, it's not, it's a new set of funding for activities we're already doing,
Okay.
basically, and it'll help sustain our staff when their current grants go away.
Good.
Yeah.
Jen, do you have a figure of what you bring in through grants?
I actually have this beautiful chart that I created this year, and I don't have it tallied, but I could get that
I think that would be
really quickly.
great information.
Yeah. Yep, I can do that super fast.
Okay,
What else?
any new programs?
Yes, we're going to apply for a grant called Strengthening Public Health Workforce. And this really came from the state saying, we know that you were able to bolster your staffing through the pandemic, and we also know that those positions are super important for the infrastructure of your department. So we want to find funding to help sustain those positions. And so we're gonna ask for about 0.75, maybe up to 1 whole FTE for that. And that grant will be coming due on March 1st. So what is the current process for asking to get grants approved, basically?
I think it's the same as always, is that you just come in and ask for approval to apply for the grant.
Okay.
You give us an update on what the grant is. And the thing we're always wanting to know is there any match required?
Yeah, that's the big one.
But, so it's just the same process as it's always been, just asking for that approval, us knowing the grant that you're applying for and moving forward with it.
Okay, so that would be like an action item. So
Yes.
for that one, let's, I'll coordinate with you and we'll get on the agenda to officially get approval to apply for that one. And then we're working on some other projects like trying to get our data modernized. We might be doing a lead testing grant. We're probably going to be looking into an STI program where people can mail in test results and then be connected with remote providers. It's really cool. It's so exciting because we're really morphing away from, as you know, COVID stuff into health promotion and disease prevention type things. And I mentioned the community health assessment. We got, I don't know, somewhere in the vicinity of 300 results back, maybe more. And so we're compiling all those, and then we're going to take those priority areas and then look for funding to address those needs that came from people who responded to the survey. We're so excited. And then we're really bolstering our media. So I don't know if you're on Instagram or Facebook or anything, but we're doing a lot of fun stuff. Like we just did heart prevention or heart disease prevention. We're about to do one about pets and just all these things that are general wellness items. It's fun.
That's
Yeah.
great.
It's really
You're
good.
you're the technician, you're tech
I am not, but I have somebody who has really just embraced it.
Wow,
Yeah,
good.
I know.
I need help in that arena, so I haven't been able to view any of it yet, but sounds good.
And Jen, just to let you know, we are going to move back to having department head meetings,
That's awesome.
and it is awesome. And then you can share all of that good news with everybody, because you always have good news and enthusiasm coming out of your department. So we're gonna get back to it, and you can share with our employees.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So that's really all I have. I will grab my phone and do some math, and then I can fill in, because I think I still have about 5 minutes left,
Yeah,
or 10 or
But
something.
I don't wanna pressure you to do that now.
Oh, no, it's really cool, and I meant to tally it, but we had gotten some more stuff, so it wasn't accurate. So I will just take a minute and tally, and then I'll fill you in, and then if any other questions bubble up, let me know.
Okay,
Appreciate your
great.
guys' time. Good to see you all, yeah. So does this attach to the camera? Or
No.
this is just the microphone for the room?
Yeah.
Yes,
It just enhances the sound from that little speaker down there.
It's getting so fancy.
we are getting fancy.
Love it.
Well, what about Barb? Is she gonna tell us a joke?
Oh,
You came all the way down here, you're not gonna tell us a joke?
well, let's see. I'm primarily at the elementary school, so the joke of the week, let's see. Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Oh, 6, 7, 8, 7, or no, 7, 8, 9.
There you go.
Okay.
Is that a good one?
Oh, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
almost forgot it.
I know, it's a classic joke. There you go. It's the only one I know.
When do you think department head meetings will start?
Sooner than later. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do we want to start this month, or we want to just start in March so that everybody has a good heads up?
Yes,
March. And it'll be what I would like to see, and I don't know about anyone else. I would like to see a Friday afternoon devoted to that. Yeah, you like? Yeah.
I don't know if we can ask questions, but have you guys ever thought about having a rabies clinic? I know the Tri did it in coordination a couple of years ago with their health department. The health department up there co-sponsored it because it's a communicable disease.
Oh, we do a lot of rabies investigations.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a vaccination clinic, but I would help as a volunteer, but I don't know.
Give them a call.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it would be we'd have to figure out if there was, an vet that
That's
would be
the
willing
problem.
to, since we don't have a vet in the county.
Yeah, and when we had that vaccination clinic, it was really hard to find it there. And I'm not even sure if it was certified.
Well, Kathy Floyd used to.
Kathy and I did it
Yeah,
together.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to look into it.
Interestingly enough, you have a VA in
Oh.
the
Yeah.
A veterans
You have a
assistant,
veterinary assistant in the county.
Oh.
lives out of
She's-
Riverview.
She's British. No, she's British. She lives with one of the veterans. She was in the day before yesterday asking about getting a visa or what she's doing with her passport. And they said, look, you qualify under the North American Free Trade Agreement and the rest for special conditions dispensation for a visa because you have skill. If you've got the degree in veterinary assistant from Edinburgh, you can do it. So she's looking at it right now.
Oh, great. Can they do, I wonder if
They can administer, they'd have to have somebody willing
Oversee
to,
them.
it'd just be like a medical clinic, yeah.
There's actually a retired vet that lives out at Riverview.
So we Anyway, so
Really
that's
cool.
'cause that's-
Yeah, I would love to
Work
see
together,
it.
yeah.
See, that's how I work for Canada.
Yeah.
I don't need a visa.
Yeah.
For the math.
That's where that comes from.
Special skills,
No, I doubt
special training, special education, you can do it, you can choose that.
Okay.
So that might solve your problem. What? No, not just special ed. Oh, education, I'm sorry, not just special ed.
That probably was a little bit.
Lay off.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see that.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to help volunteer if you, and,
But
but
that's,
yeah,
Thanks.
that
she,
would
anyway, she's here, she doesn't have any, anyway, I don't know if she's got an answer yet, because she was just.
Looks like we have a total.
Okay.
We have a total, so let's all, wonderful to
Thank
hear
you for bringing
this.
that up, because we have thought about that in the past. It was a project many years ago, so we'll see if that bubbles back up. I'm really excited to get those CHA results and see what comes up, but as always, pet health is at the top of the list. So we have about $580,000 in grants that we operate under, from through DPHHS primarily, and then 223,000 of private funding grants. And then our general fund, total budget is just under 200,000, but we bring in almost 90,000 in income through the schools and vaccine. So, basically the county gives us about 110 for overall operating, and then we are just estimating here. So we have about $1 million is spread in that way. Pretty cool. Pretty
That's really
exciting.
cool.
I know, I really am happy with all the things we're doing and how our staffing has shaken out. There's 11 of us. We've kind of separated into a family coalition and early childhood type crew that's makes up 6 of our crew, and then 5 of us that really do public health things. And so we're at risk of losing 2 of our 5. So we don't want to do that. That is a major priority to keep us
How
on
many
board.
go to the schools now? Barb does, you said an
Yeah.
elementary joke from
So
you.
we're still in the schools as school
You do?
nurses,
Okay.
and then we've started up parent liaison programs in all the schools. So we have 2 on staff who do that program in all 3 schools, and then we have an in-house person in St. Regis doing that. There's a lot of really awesome things happening.
And you have WIC.
And of course, we have WIC, yep, so Barb and I do WIC, yeah. Yeah, and we do immunizations, and we do just, all sorts of things. I could talk for a long time. But,
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, so we'll be bringing grants and proposals and things forward as we find them. And as, Dan said, we welcome feedback and comments from the public if you have ideas of places you want us to focus our efforts. All right, you guys, well, that's it.
Thanks, Jan.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
Thank you, you also. The sunshine is trying to come out, which is nice. It was out already.
That's it?
Thanks, Barb.
Hi, Barb.
See you guys.
We need to put that on our calendar to start. You can make a note, Darren, and we'll get together about that, a department head meeting, scheduling a department head meeting.
Yeah, I put a note right here on it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think like on 1 time. Yeah.
You know.
I found that we're correlated. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm, right. Yeah.
This week,
No, absolutely.
Okay, now after.
Yeah.
I won't be repeating.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. So our next meeting is public comment at 11:30.
I thought we had a 10.
You have me at 10:50.
Oh, geez, Wally. Good thing I got you keeping track of me.
Now, after that
Not quite
comment,
10.
I want it
Is it
plain, there's one for you, Dwayne, Dawn doesn't get anything.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't give it, the whole box is?
Huckleberry,
All right,
Oh my gosh.
thank you.
sorry, you don't get one, girl.
That's fine. I'll just live through Dwayne and Roman in there.
But you made me.
No, I didn't make them. No, there's one for you.
No, I don't, but thank you very much. They look wonderful.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Don't want it, yours is skinny.
I'm so sorry that I tried to cut you out of the agenda.
You're fine. No, here's the skinny. The bakery at the Y on Fridays, I tried to bring Deb and the girls upstairs a croissant with ham and Swiss. And they were cooked, no-showed last Friday and no-showed today. So they started a fresh batch and I got them. And they said, if you're gonna have to wait half an hour while here, take these.
Oh, cool.
So they gave me those. I thought, well, the commissioner liked that. And guess who also got a ham and croissant for his lunch today?
And they are delicious.
HR got it. So I did my part. So I had like 4 things for you.
Oh, no, yes.
Okay, you were at the hearing when Judge Vanetta gave us the order and said, this is what to do with this. So I wrote the letter on that. So that's the February 9th letter. It's the thicker package because I attached the court's transcript to it where the judge said, you tell all your people in the county, this is it, and Lance, this is what you're stuck with. So there's the transcript in that letter to the county's employees, etc. And the other letter was to Patty, Jessica, and Ryan regarding the grant that Dwayne ended up in the middle of having the good sense to not sign it because it wasn't done, it wasn't finished the way it should have been, etc. But it was kind of like an end-run deal to get there. So we did a letter, basically from Deb and I, to Patty, Ryan, and Jessica about, look, don't be end-run in the system. If you're gonna do a grant application, do it with the knowledge of everybody and don't have the county commissioner signing, say, yeah, we read this, we know what's in there, when it's not even done. So I was polite, but I think it needs to be in the record. So I'm gonna get them both the people probably today, and I just wanted you guys to see them first before I did that. But I think we need to, because the rules are, you can't have the commissioner saying, yeah, we've read the budget, we've read the stuff, we've done the whole deal. Well, not only have you not read it, but the other part is, it wasn't even done. And Ruth was kind of disgusted as well, because Ruth made it real plain, there were 8 parts of that grant that they had to have for them to even support it or do it. And they didn't have the 8 parts either. So thank God Dwayne talked to Ruth too about it, and we know what happened there. So we averted a mess, but that was good.
And so I do want to comment on that.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm talking about when I tell Diane, we want to get away from that, because what happens is, so then he or one of us is being asked, sign, without the other ones ever getting to see what's being signed. So we really are moving forward, not going to be rushed into any signatures, no more last minute flying in here, oh, sign this please, because there's no contemplation on it. And so I really appreciate that you guys were able to intercept that and stop it so that it's done right.
And the issue on things like that is if there's a budget, it's like the 30% part of the rail to trail deal. If you hadn't read it and caught that, it could have gone over the budget and that would have whacked us for the money. So I'm pretty careful to read about stuff like budgets and personnel and those things, which is what it was. And Dwayne did it and got hold of us and said, yeah, can you look at this? What should you do? Yes, hell yes, so there you go. So that was item 1. So those 2 I'll send out then, and that's per the judge's order that he requested on the other part. We were supposed to have a response on the Sierra Mountain Road today from the lawyer, and I don't have it at hand. And so I told her a couple weeks ago, I said, look, why don't you just get me the response? Let's figure out what we can do. I talked to Jason McLeese about it 2 weeks ago. Signage, I found out the prison can make the signs for us if we need to sign the road, say stay on the right of way, etc. We have a way to do it, no response. So the 2 choices are, do I send her a note and say, look, why don't you get back to us by next Friday and let us know what you guys can do, because they gave you the time to do it, or do I write the summons and the complaint and go ahead and serve them and say, let's do it the hard way? And I hate to be rude about it, but I've tried everything I can try in the skill box to say, look, we're trying to figure out a solution to this. You don't have to have an open road year-round. For example, Lake County has 2 roads where they're open from like June 1st, May 15th, where the ice and the snow are gone, until October. Then they're closed because the grade's too steep, nobody can maintain it, the curves are too bad, but they provide access to houses and fire protection, fine. So it's not like we have to have the Sierra Mountain Road open 24/7, 365. But if we do it seasonally and post it right or whatever, however you decide to do it, we can. But getting nowhere is we've been gentlemanly about it for like almost 10 years now. So the question is, what's your pleasure in terms of where we go? It's kind of your call. And I'm not afraid of it doing it in any of the directions because I've done lots of easement cases. I just hate to have to do it the hard way, but we may have to do that. Kind of your call. But I don't mind writing another letter saying, get us a response by next Friday, or we will do it the hard way, if you want to do it that way.
I think that'd be all right. Probably the only way you're gonna talk to them.
And see, they were originally had a meeting scheduled with you, then they moved the meeting, then they switched lawyers. Then they moved the meeting with them in Missoula, then they canceled that and said, get us a letter, we'll get you some ideas. And we got nothing. So everything I've done to try to move it goes nowhere. And I just figure if you get, and it's not just this road, we have a road at Slowway, we have the Red Hill Road, we have some other ones, and I've been doing the research, and we also have the road at Daigle Lane, which I got looked at most of the way for the Department of Transportation, wanted the stuff on that from us, and I got part of that done. I'm gonna finish that probably Monday.
Oh, wait, so DOT wants you to explore the Juniper Road that goes off Dago,
It is county, yeah,
even though that was state gravel pit there?
yeah.
I mean, I know Dago Lane is county.
Yeah,
They've
Dago
never
Lane
since
is.
Mary Dago.
Yeah, the piece that went up from there to where the crossing is, that was county, that's what they couldn't find. They got a grant to fix the crossing and do some other
Right.
stuff on that.
Right, yeah.
But they couldn't find the piece from the old highway up to there.
Oh,
That was the piece they didn't have, and I said, look, where'd you look? Well, it's not in your records, it's like, look. It's not
oh,
in
you're
our
talking about
records.
the other side of the trail. I thought you were talking about the side that
No,
goes
no,
down and under the interstate, down to the old gravel pit.
right, no,
Okay.
Here's your funnier road of all though. When you stop when you go into Alberton, stop in that long stretch there before you get to the parking area, look at the right of the railroad fill, and there's the highway and the built stone that goes right under the railroad track that Milwaukee moved in 1909. And that right of way's still there. They never vacated it. Pretty cool stuff. But you can see it built right into the railroad fill. It starts way down by the river, goes up at an angle there. When you stop there sometimes and look, it's amazing.
What part are you talking about?
When you go past, on the freeway, go over the Sear Bridge, not the scenic bridge, over the bridge that crosses there.
Right.
Sear, keep going. Before you get to the rest area, slow down, pull off on the right, look across the river at that rock cliff, and there's the railroad.
Oh, you're talking about the NP Railroad.
Right.
Yeah, that was part of the Yellowstone Trail.
It was, right.
Yeah.
And they never vacated the right of way. When I was looking through the stuff in Missoula County to find the Dago Road piece, I found that piece too. Because I was going off legal descriptions anyway, but. So if your idea is cool, let's send another letter on Cimarron Mountain, I'll do that. And we can come up with a better solution next week if you're okay. If that's all right. If that's good, okay. All right, so those are kind of the things that are, and Deb's working on the updates on the writ questions. We don't have a schedule back from Lance yet on deposing Dawn, deposing Under Sheriff Cashman, the rest of the way, deposing the sheriff, deposing whoever else, but that's supposed to be coming, I hope, in the next day or two, because we asked Lance for that as well. We just haven't got the schedule on doing that yet, but as soon as we get it, we'll let you know. And Toth may not depose here, they may have to do him at Billings, because it sounds like his lawyer does not want him to travel because of his congestive heart failure issue. Because he's got so much fluid around his heart, it doesn't beat very well. So they're concerned that maybe they don't want him to travel. So that's the word. Anyway, I hope that helps.
I do have one question. When do
Sure.
you intend for that schedule to be out? Because are you doing this on the 16th, on Monday, or you don't know?
We probably won't get the schedule till Monday or Tuesday for proposal. We expected to do this 2 or 3 different days that we can figure it out.
So, not Monday.
No, not Monday. Yeah.
What's the significance of this letter, Counselor, the writ of mandamus and all related issues?
Okay, that's the letter that talks about per what Judge Vanetta ordered us. The county people are not supposed to be talking to Lance for advice or talking about the writs of mandate. They're supposed to be talking to the county attorney's office. And that's why I attached the transcript where the judge ordered that on page 10. He said, Mr. Congdon, you're to instruct all the county's people to talk to you guys, not to talk to the other lawyers. So that's the letter. That's what the judge ordered us to do, because there was kind of an issue with the sheriff going to Lance for a letter of opinion and hiring someone. And Lance said, do it, and that was against all the rules. And so the judge said, no, we can't be doing that. So that's the significance of the letter. So the other thing the judge has that I haven't got yet is we agreed how we hire people that have anything to do with law enforcement, et cetera, in the court record, and that's ordered in the record. So I should have the transcript of that today from the court reporter, and then that'll go as well, because that's how we're dealing with those people, and that goes in the manual, but that's court ordered, so it's not a change we had to make, and it's how we made the deal with the court to get to the writ question. And if I get it today, I'll get it to you. It's up to the court reporter, not me. We ordered it. She just has been way behind in Missoula with trials. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to take a minute, but I just thought it's better to update you on some of that stuff than it is to, you understand. Thanks.
Last thing on this
Yeah.
line 12,
Uh-huh.
it says, these two suits should be done with the advice and understanding and knowledge of the Missoula County Attorney's
And it's
Office.
Mineral, not Missoula, it was a
Yeah, he
typo.
gave us- yeah, there's a note.
That's why the
saying
note
that.
on the first page is, it says it should be
Mineral, not
Mineral, not
Missoula.
Missoula.
So
It was a
that's
typo
just
by
a
the
habit
court.
of the stenographer, she could recognize what county.
Right, that's what happens. When they say MCSO, they assume Missoula County Sheriff's Office. I hate to admit that I do that. But that's because too many years in Missoula, that's what you think of, not Mineral. So that's why she did it.
Thank you, and again, I'm sorry
Thank
I
you.
tried to cut you out.
No, you're fine. It's you who doesn't get the Huckleberry
I
Tea.
know, I'm paying for it.
You're gonna pay, girl.
Those are Wheat, Montana, is that the bakery you were talking about, the Y?
Great Harvest, right at the
Oh, the
line.
Great Harvest.
Well, I
Yeah.
love Great Harvest, we used to always give that bread for Christmas presents.
Oh, no, it's Sweet Montana, right at the line. It's Sweet Montana.
I like the Great Harvest.
That's Sweet Montana, and they have Huckleberry. Fresh made, poured into the town.
I'll try it.
You
Not
better
now, I'll do it later.
So I think I'm correct this time when I say our next meeting is public meeting at 11:30.
Is Wally's time over?
Wally's time is over.
Oh, I was gonna make a comment on Wally's time, but I'll wait till public comment.
You can make a comment. It's okay with them.
It's regarding your stuff, but shall I wait till public comment?
Well,
I mean, it's just a thank you, basically.
oh. I am going to try to, keep our comments during public comment.
So do you want me to wait, or can I just say thank you?
It's on
You
the,
can say
it's on the
thank you.
subject that we just done.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is. So I just wanted to say thank you very much, Wally, for pursuing the Sierra Iron Mountain Road. As everybody knows, a lot of people have been working on this over the past 10 years, and it's nice to have it finally getting somewhere. So thank you very much, and thank you guys too for supporting that.
We're trying.
I hope your confidence comes to fruition.
I do too.
So you couldn't get up there to get the information.
Darren,
Or
so
no,
something
that's
like
okay.
this, just like there was another piece of mail, Commissioner King West,
Or whatever you
and
can.
this, Commissioner.
Yeah, it's, or you can email it. Whatever you want.
I'm just gonna, so it's not.
I'll be around.
Again,
But we need to get into Zoom.
I just made some.
Open it? Yeah, and then you could throw that away and just.
So I can, how do I know when is the question?
Well, anything that's Mineral County Commissioners, yeah, you do open. Mhm. Yep, and then just make sure it's in a folder.
In a folder
Yep.
with you.
I'll put this here and then I'll pass this around so the guys can see it and we'll get it back to you. And you can file it with letters.
So I was wondering if you, is there a way to come up with this, there's not a way to come up with
Because
this.
it's just telling us the way.
Albert.
Oh, wait,
Or is
after the
there-
initial commitment.
Is there a road
and then
now?
a road that wishes to withdraw.
Yeah, so it hooks up with the old, with the,
It's preparing for final renewal rates.
big flat road.
And they're someone's gonna contact us.
Is it?
Weird email.
I need to drive that way. But yeah, I wonder if they
Just
look
yours
at
would be
that. But they,
Okay.
then
This
the
one here,
problem is they
you know what,
print
take
all
heads
the
or
way
tails
down.
of
Okay, I just saw that, I didn't get the, look
So,
at that yet.
I mean,
Oh,
I was looking at like,
no, we just,
also getting something to do, I also got emails from Mako saying about,
cybersecurity?
cybersecurity and all that, that's first that popped into my head. It's like,
No, what did they say? This looks like a company who's just trying to.
trying to do
Yeah,
business.
yeah, we do business, King West Town our cybersecurity people. So, this you can just.
toss.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I wanted to ask before.
Of course, but they did, we filled out some forms and they did the shopping for us and found the best
So you-
deal that they could.
Theoretically, you
So,
can go, well, you
I
can't
haven't
from
seen
Missoula
it.
to Superior and all these backroads, yeah.
The only
yeah.
time, the only thing you wouldn't open.
I don't think we wanna do
And I
that.
did tell you to open
And the
that once
reason
because
is
I really
that
thought it was a
we can
refund,
talk
but like
about
if it, Roman often gets checks
No,
for whatever
he got
reason.
he got a little envelope in the mail the other day, I didn't open, I just.
Oh,
Yeah,
those
it
are
was like
when, those are when I travel, so like DC, it's
Not if
not
they
on the
stay on
county
that side of the
dime.
road.
No,
Go.
I hadn't opened that one because we had applied for a refund.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
asking.
Dwayne's and yours came
I
at the
noticed
same
it was
time.
open.
That's what I was asking.
So that was why.
I called the
Yeah.
post office, I didn't know what name to give them, but now I know.
And he'll say, but Dawn told me to. I did, because I was trying to get that figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my DC trip.
Yeah, that was, and that's a rare thing that would happen. If it says Roman, he's usually getting a check.
If it's from Mako, I mean, when it's from Mako.
Well, obviously,
I don't know.
if it's a check, I usually would let that.
Right, I'm just explaining, the reason I had you open this one is because we had,
So where does it?
yes, for refund
It must
purposes.
come into Fish Creek.
Did Mako pay for your conference fee? Because we did, and so I never,
Oh, you mean in Helena?
Yeah.
No, we have to pay for that.
okay, because that's what I was looking for, to see if that was.
Yeah.
Before we adjourned today, I got the wrong email, so I still can't
Oh.
find that Kimball, so.
Yeah, Stephen, well, maybe he didn't send it to
On the
you.
north side of the river? North side of the freeway?
I thought I saw something about
I
it,
would have
but
thought, yeah.
Yeah.
it popped up. I remember it popping up, I thought.
But that's a regular commission thing that you, me, everyone goes to, and so it's county.
It should be, I mean, it should show
But I
on
did want
yours.
you to know that was the only reason, we didn't.
Oh.
that Helena?
I went to.
Same hotel that
That's why.
we tried to do before.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, so you come across.
Also, I shouldn't have joked about that.
No, I know, I thought you did that back over here, but no.
Oh,
But you can see the.
And I'm not sure what that is for.
so you
I'm gonna
can,
look.
you can drive there right now?
Yeah, right through it.
Oh,
They can black it out.
See, that's all planning stuff, so if we get the grant, all that input would be very valuable.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, and that's what they'll be doing, we'll have public meetings and, you know, all that stuff.
So you might want to just read this. Give it up here.
So, yeah,
Welcome to our meetings.
Oh, you know who it might have been from too.
Yes,
It
I know I've met.
wasn't even Kimball.
what is it look after?
Sometimes Emily forwards that stuff.
Excuse me.
I'm pretty sure it was from him.
I got something off the commissioner.
Right there, right there.
Oh, you know,
They just push the issue.
Right now, want me to see if it's on the, let me look and see if it's on. Pretty sure it is.
Somebody at the commission visited those appendixes.
What happened is nobody went to Missoula to get the records. It was Missoula.
That's not
Yeah,
quite true, my uncle Wheeler got records, but it didn't go far enough.
Tuesday, February
I'll
7th.
go around and print that off so I can look at it.
Okay,
Yeah, you need to go talk to him about what he did. So it's all, as Ken knows, I mean, we've all been working on it for years, we've been at it.
Fuse to it. You got
So
some.
my
I won't be able to eat
my
lunch now,
phone
though.
out to see you guys, so around that way. I know it, it'll be great.
I thought you might find that.
Okay, 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 very good, okay.
I think the only hard part, Robin, is it's really, really hard.
Oh, look at you.
There's a bunch of people.
said I won't be able to eat lunch, yeah.
It's really tough.
I was at Frenchtown,
It's not like
my wife called me yesterday morning. I left early, so I could be, when you get to a flash swap, they were 7:30, they tell everybody, they actually look in their morning,
I don't know how else to put it.
I'll be sitting there.
Well, I should never have to send a letter to say,
Yeah.
judge, so
Like that's
somebody
the
orders it
first
done.
thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Conley will tell. Okay, I will.
But this is your first meeting. No, I took it up to Debbie and Duncan last night.
It is like Patty and
Just take it out and scoot it.
Jessica Wagner and Van applications.
They gave her a big card, and I put it on one side. She had to write
Maybe
it
it
on
was
the
like.
page.
Well, you know.
Lucky she could.
judges
Yeah.
Wanting them to be.
And so her bank keys are,
Scrutinizing every move with the writ of mandamus. So,
Yes.
her
you know,
ignition key ring,
You don't want people
Pam could let her in too.
voluntarily bringing on
But I mean, if she-
contradictions.
No, she
Exactly. You got the whole
Oh, she
message.
does.
Yeah, you understand.
Did you think?
But they were all in the bird.
Yeah. So are we just signing this, or what, is that for us? Because again, yes, I haven't ever seen this.
So what was with it? Oh,
It should be so old fashioned.
Us, or would the treasurer's office sign that?
Why? They all
Well,
gotta be bonded.
they do, they go through a special process, so that's why I'm wondering, but we sign this?
It's for bonding, I'm
Oh, I said it's her.
You do?
Oh,
Which road is it?
Across the river.
They have to have a different
Oh,
background.
The Sierra Iron Mountain Road.
And so I know we have not, oh, and Mary's is here too.
Started in 19.
I might call them.
Finished in 1934.
I don't know. I've never seen one before.
Working with production.
I could go.
It's a long. That's a long time, right?
Well, it was a very poor county. And the question was, which road do you need to do the most? And Milwaukee was finished in 1990.
Yeah.
And so Milwaukee provided people that option, so the roads mattered, but the roads weren't that big. But the roads were.
Yeah.
But they got the right of ways from the community to see everything the whole other around. Plus, because anyway, it's not the whole way.
No, yeah.
And you probably don't even realize who it is. You can see one of the biggest pieces of history.
What, which direction?
I'll run up there.
You look across when you were on the Fish Creek bench.
Diane, shake those nut pods up good, or else you might get a little.
I did, this is all. So
You should charge her for it.
I will.
there's no sugar.
You really don't know that.
I know, and I like it because it's.
You're kidding me.
No.
Look across on the Fish Creek bench. There's a set of trees, everybody used to go along.
And then again, Rush Schwab, like says, yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah? What, you bought new tires? Are those 19-inch tires?
20.
Holy cow,
It's still out there.
$2.75 a piece?
What you don't know is
Yeah, about 350.
Wow.
who was it?
Four of them
That's
was
what I'm telling you, you don't know.
I do.
$1,355.
Yeah.
Which rig is it that has 20-inch wheels?
Right there.
Oh, Chevrolet.
So, and Jerry Doctor told me that only the ones that came from Dave Smith had 20s.
I know, they copied it.
Oh,
really?
With spares and you get that.
Oh, is Dave Smith part owner of Les Schwab?
Yeah.
Probably.
We're only gonna sell 20-inch wheels on our pickup.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a tire shop right across the street there. You need to put new tires on.
And I shopped around, I just on the internet, you know, looking, I mean, if you mail order them, you get them cheaper, but then you have to ship it, so.
And
have
also,
somebody put them on.
and a lot of them will charge you more if you did not purchase the tires from them. Because that eBay internet stuff is getting to be so big.
Terry Erickson's got a tire chain,
Oh,
but he doesn't, he can't balance.
you can't balance.
What?
Yeah.
Where was he?
East Coast.
So that means we,
Not bad. Get yourself a copy. You need that, but that should be on the shelf in your house.
Right,
but they didn't get me in and out of there in about
yeah.
45 minutes, I was kind of surprised.
Wow, you didn't have to wait all day to eat popcorn?
But I was sitting there at 7:30.
Oh, you got in there right away.
It seems that times.
We still have a stapler hanging around?
My daughter, it's.
Probably not.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
We were trying to tidy up so we could throw the stapler.
Yeah, yeah.
We're taking a train. Yeah, so we'll be downtown.
Yeah.
yeah, I like Les Schwab. They treat me pretty good when I'm tired. They're just darn expensive. They are. And if I get a flat on them, of course they fix it for free. If it's my four-wheeler, they fix it for free.
Tough trip to paradise. Next time you're in Missoula, go to the county commissioner's office.
Yeah.
On the wall, there's a picture. 2 feet tall, 6 feet across. Homesteaders Convention. Missoula County.
One in San Diego.
So you look at the picture. And it's not that tall.
No,
Large height. white buckskin coat, downs on it, instead of jeans, instead of boots. That's it.
So we're trying to get the training.
They found that his writings in dynamite boxes out there for 1969.
Yes, we got letters transcribed and she's ready.
Oh, really?
Under her cookie.
Oh, yeah, I'm interested in that too.
Transcribed from what, just his writing or from a different language?
Yeah, from his writing.
Yeah.
And then they modified grapevine in 1990 against the wall cat, and 20 years ago, they still were producing grapes. Yeah.
I wonder if they're still there.
I think they were 20 years, I've been up there. We sold there in 1993. There in 94, so that's almost 30 years ago. They were there then.
Yeah, is that year with the?
Pretty sure, Simon, does that look simple enough? They got a link and everything. Click on that, and it'll put all of our information in that. I got you told. I haven't done it yet, but I'll.
So I,
Tuesday.
yeah, so it runs Wednesday and Thursday, but I would just be there Tuesday night and Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday.
I got that. We're writing down. I have it written down, but I'm gonna write it down again.
Oh, yeah.
When the characters, you know, this was me.
Steal the mom's chair for a second.
I
Important person up here.
Yeah, you can have this one, if you want.
All railroad memorabilia.
Tuesday night, Wednesday night. And someone.
Experience it.
There really is. Huh, I had no idea.
Why it's impossible.
It's a lot different. You know, just maybe.
The six counts. And that was,
Yeah, that's what it was. You know.
we had the rest.
We're taking my dog.
Butters had a piece on the end one guy, so we were walking on the sidewalk, Kelly had some there all the way to the power company, they had three, which we got locked up.
Right. All three weeks. Kind of like that movie, I guess.
Right, as you
Trains,
go down the street, trains,
trains, and hopefully it'll be going right.
just go down there and just a little bit. There used to be the old block grocery store used to sit right there. Each one's gas station, like almost building cabins.
So what part of the county do you live in?
It's town of Series.
Okay.
That was down the
The
Sears.
town of
Oh,
Sears
it
was
was,
it, that's where it was, here's the other.
Come on, Chuck.
There was a pressure.
But that's okay, making comments on that time, which time out.
You can actually take
All kinds of highlights and stuff.
They're the size of this room, 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
There's a pipe. Came from the rapids down. And right there, when you
long ways, it's
walk
long.
in,
It's not that long, it's just long.
I did that for a solid week, I was never so glad to.
Cause that was, Randy was in charge, and that was just.
I was not hosting it, so that meets the end. So I remember what they brought back.
if you get down there and find the pump, through.
Quick, yeah.
So what it does,
We
it
got a lot
fills
of
up its water,
Yeah.
and then it'll fall. Raises it, fills the pressure in the water, pushes it up to a certain pressure, you don't need to check that. Pushes the water through, you know, 2 feet, then the pressure's equal. Fills the pressure. Fills the pressure. That's how they run the water in the tanks there. Somebody stole the tank, this is the.
That's the truth, he comes out there looking for colors.
Oh, yeah.
It's stain, diesel, you know,
Oh, yeah.
oh my
That
God.
equipment's.
Well, that grocery store was open,
You know. at the mill, I know about the equipment. I remember getting into a forklift one time to move a unit. And I was hauling ass, we were behind, that's the reason I was getting in it. Well, I was hauling and I hit the brakes and it goes all the way to the floor. Like, oh no. I got out, I was cussing and hollering. I can't remember who was striking. I think Glenn was this.
I just have
Why no, this is not tagged out or these don't. I was mad because I almost wrecked that. I almost ran right into that unit. You know, we just wouldn't have been. I have wrecked units before and stuff. So.
big man, does the hearing.
But yeah, equipment.
Yeah. That's bad.
Well, I tell you what, I teach it.
But we had the stuff about.
They made a big deal out of everything.
We had the stuff from the highway, and the Milwaukee Road.
Well, they did buy some. But,
We
you
get
know,
results for us.
Yeah.
they didn't take care of, they tried to take care of the stuff.
It was all rainfield.
I don't
It
know.
was all down in the river, which is this big, a lot of it.
All right, well, I'll get to this. If I need help, I'll get.
right. Okay.
It looks pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We sold it to the state.
Oh, okay.
No, the state was buying the land.
Okay.
They had all that ground, they had river access.
Right.
I know, I'm dying.
No.
Oh, shoot, this is for Miss Madone.
Here, give her this,
Almost
too.
forgot.
That's my email address on the back.
Okay. Other bridge will actually still have it.
Tell her not to use that as a bathroom.
Don't leave it in the.
We're at Purple Quest at the Three Bridges. That guy is the welder, he's a welder in Missoula.
Oh,
Last name is Atkinson.
Oh, he owns the property.
Yeah,
Rocky Bridge.
Yeah, on both sides. And then there's another guy now that bought this little homestead. You probably, if you've been down there, it's like one of those storage containers that you can put it. So you can, it's an Airbnb. So he owns the strip between, where Atkinson, there's a little tiny strip that goes back.
Okay.
And then it becomes Atkinson again, and then it's, so it's a weird little strip, and we put it for it. Yeah, it's an Airbnb, but Atkinson had wanted to take the bridge apart, and he started to, you can see it, or he started taking it apart, and then he had hoped that nobody would, but, you know, seniors go out there and take their senior pictures on.
On the trestle?
Oh my gosh, yes, and you know, people do their wedding photographs out there, so, I know, it's.
We also dropped the other bridge in the river.
Oh, is that what,
Oh, yeah. I have the picture.
What other bridge?
The other Milwaukee Bridge, the Fishkill Bridge, the Syrian Bridge had a crane chained to it, a dump truck, a 921 Cal, and a pickup. And he got the book with the symbol of the bridge, but he forgot to start
You're just going to town.
backwards. What he did.
You got all mine
I was gonna, well, I'm done. I'm working.
He started on page one.
Let me see what I can-
Page four, pulled four bolts, and dropped the whole bridge in the river. 60 feet deep.
You didn't say no, but that was all.
Did I make that clear enough on there, Dawn?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was?
She only had that much, so she can't use that. And so then Kellen is gonna automatically take annually because they have somebody, what do I do? She never did it backwards.
So she just took the 3.84.
We had
No.
She took zero.
Yeah, that day was
Yeah, I
not
read
paid.
zero.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, well, I don't know, it's not 3.84 there.
Yeah, I was answering, you 3.84, the rest from vacation leave, because well, I really don't want to do that without somebody telling me it's okay to mess with their pay.
Yeah.
So she didn't get the direction from her, so that was not a paid day.
Not as part
No
of the
reply.
trail.
Okay, so
They'll
she
be
can
right
then
on
try
it.
and do
Yeah.
that.
Email.
Oh, good. Oh, how nice. You're just really good at there.
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
State needed access to the river. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
North Country needed for habitat mitigation.
Oh,
North Country got
that's
the
why.
state got the access.
Well, that makes sense. I was wondering, because it is strips.
Do you have somebody like me to do that?
Oh,
Let's see, don't worry about it.
That would be good.
Delegate, that's what you do.
That's right, that's a sign of a good manager. So, did you sign this? Okay, so do we all need this same, oh, did you send this one? Oh, you did, yeah. Yeah.
Between the black one, yeah.
So we're listed.
Yes, yes. Are you,
Oh.
it is two man?
So we have the
Oops.
them, it's making the way they'll scan into the last name, and then there's
And then I think there was another one, oh, an invoice here. What's this one? From, oh, I know, close our eyes and just go and tell you sent it to me. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Do they have a house down there?
there's two, so
Hey, Dawn's signature on the original. Do you see it, please? I'm the vendor? Where am I gonna sign? Oh, I am the vendor. A DNRC card? So, let's see what that is.
she's actually he's from,
I would never build a house on a property that didn't have a conservatory, because if you guys sold it.
This is the, oh, that's not the same thing as the planning board, right? This is just Andy's and I give permission for it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that up here so we can get this piece of paper out of the way.
Oh, to watch it, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Well, as long as you live
I
there,
like
fine,
it.
yeah. Except you could probably do an easement toward it if you sell it. Yeah.
Yeah. He makes it. I don't know. Oh, Darren, is this your stuff? Or
Maybe.
This says Darren. Oh, this is all of us. Here's yours.
Oh, this is mine, okay. Huh.
It's beautiful over here.
Here's yours, Norman.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody, yeah.
We just have a couple minutes.
I don't have that, we're gonna have some people live
Oh,
down.
yeah, they sure were good at it.
And I've already talked to them, and they're from Missoula. They asked me, I met them just driving around.
Norm.
They asked me if I would.
I was just wondering, how is that inside your shirt?
Must have been, I don't know.
They
That
can't
was always a
see.
scary piece of road though. It seems like a long way.
Yeah.
Hey, is that go?
Yeah, And the guardrail was
Nice neighbors, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, okay, but you have.
No, that's why, no, over there, it's, we had that. Wow. Wow.
A uniform.
Yeah, I think, the reason I think it was later than that is I was out of law school in '83.
I know, that's nice,
Yeah, huge ears.
Do you
So we'll talk about that.
when it's not really, you know, it's,
Say now we do it.
yeah, that's why
But
I'm
I went to
wondering.
do the theater, I studied something like that in Warwick. You know,
Which one?
I told him.
first day.
No, which one?
Sleep. No, I was, but we always thought that, kid, isn't it? I'm just telling you, I was a little kid, you know.
I'm
It's like
surprised you
making- I was 5
have
or
it
6.
sorted out to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember the plaque on the wall, Montana's oldest town in the state,
Stay
1930, and opened in 31. And there was a plaque on the wall that said that.
I can remember Diane, she was in the first grade.
I can remember you too. We went, I went all the way through every class together.
You put the fear of God in that.
Well, we actually, our class was like siblings.
It's because
You know, I mean, we don't always
Yeah,
agree on everything, but
Yeah.
really close,
we
felt like it's
graduated.
part of the family.
Yeah, that is too bad.
Wow. And there was quite a few of us, and Bailey and Jim Monzi.
There was, I think there was 23 or 24.
George
Oh, wow.
Baker.
Oh, that's a
I know we're still knowing each other too.
It's a nice story. That's the hardest part. It was the hardest 4 years.
You're gonna stay there for a while?
You can wait.
I loved growing up here. I remember going out to your house out there in Kansas County.
Look at these.
Oh, really?
Look at these.
Yeah, do you remember that?
I still never went to the bank, I can't say this. I just
remember
about
the
was there.
Wow.
I know, I better go there
And I
tonight.
also remember if you walked across the highway and were careful. I used
According to Verizon, it's 11:30 and we will start public comment. Thank you. Any comments? Okay, very good.
I just wanted to say that, hopefully you can hear this thing, that I think this microphone was a nice addition for those of us that are hearing impaired back there. It really helped. The one question I have, another comment I want to make, is it's probably one of the more professional settings I've seen in a commissioner meeting in a while. What changed, but thank you guys. The comment I have is, or maybe it's a question, are we going to have public comment, or are we going to have comment after every agenda item? Because we kind of got into that today, and when people start talking back in the audience, it's really difficult to keep track of what's going on. It's hard to hear back there. So if that is going to be the thing, then I would suggest another microphone. That person can then come make their comments after each agenda item, if that's what you're going to allow, so that we can all hear back there.
Thank you for that question, because that has been a topic of discussion.
Yeah,
And
that's not allowed in the past.
My preference, but I'm not the only person sitting up here, is that it's only during public comment time. And you bring up a good point of why that's good, because then, especially now if we're going to use a microphone, everyone can be heard. And also it keeps us on schedule, which I really like. I think it's too easy to get off topic when we just accept comments after an agenda item, but that's just my personal feeling, and I don't know how these two guys feel about that.
Well, you know, we have little side comments and side discussions going back there, so it's hard to really get that input if it's intended for the commissioners, if they're not up here talking. So,
Okay.
those are my comments.
Thank you.
And my comment, Diane McGowan, kind of hinges off of Ken's, my old classmate, forever. What's that?
I'm not that old.
So I just want to say, like with my presentation today, I really appreciated Wally's comments, and I also appreciated people asking questions, you know, and I guess maybe the way to deal with it might be to, if somebody is comfortable with taking questions, and like the health department did today, like Jen did, asking if anybody had any questions. I also did watch a training thing for Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority, and they were talking about open meetings and open meeting law. And one of the criteria in there, and you guys, I can refer you to this if you want to. The guy was out of Bozeman, and apparently he's the big guru or whatever.
Is it Dan Clark?
It
Because
is.
that's who we
It
deal
is.
with, and we have him come in once a year and reschool us. I'm
Good.
glad you watched something by Dan Clark.
Yes,
He's very
yes, he's
good.
very knowledgeable. But he did say, before a vote is taken, there should be a period of public comment for questions or anything. an action item, which I thought was interesting. And I don't know how you would control that or make it just questions only instead of arguments or, So, but I thought that was interesting that the public needs to have comment before an action item.
And that is interesting because our understanding is that happens when you have a hearing, a special hearing, a public hearing. Like when we have the dog ordinance, that was a special public hearing where, there was all kinds of discussion before any action was taken. Now, we've read and discussed, it says only the members need to have discussion before the vote is unanimous. So that members, who are the members? The commissioners. But I am very happy to give Dan a call because I did actually email him that question and he said, I don't really understand the question, please call me.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's
And
good.
maybe I didn't understand it either,
No,
so I'm glad you're gonna call him, yeah.
Yeah, and it's time for us to have him back anyway, so it's
He's
perfect.
very interesting too.
He is.
Yeah, we had to cut him off because we had our regular meeting scheduled, so I was kind of disappointed. But he's coming back next time, so he'll do it in 4 installations of a half hour each.
Thank
before our
you.
meetings. The other thing I wanted to offer is an easy solution for public comment. Still advertise it at 11:30, but, and this is just my suggestion, leave the gavel open until noon, and that's all, and not gavel it closed until noon. That would be the easiest thing. I think that should please everybody, I would think. Unless there's more people, and then you would, of course, leave it open longer, but.
Yep.
So that's my suggestion.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Well, maybe someone would like to comment on Diane's comments. Anybody want to step forward and bring more comments?
Not on Diane's comments.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Lauren Atkin. My husband works for the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And I sent a letter prior to my coming here today. I'm
Okay.
not sure if you were able to go over that letter yet.
I don't think I have seen that.
I submitted it to the sheriff's office about, 3 days ago.
You submitted it to the sheriff's office?
Yeah, for him to share with you guys, and he was telling me that he would share it with you guys.
I haven't seen it either.
They made us a copy, you have to recall it.
Okay, well, I'll just brief you on it. I'm sure you'll
Okay.
be able to read it later.
Yes.
On January 31st, my husband had an aggressive detainee, and his suggestion was to put that detainee in a holding cell here. Well, the county attorney pretty much told him he needed to drive that detainee to Warm Springs. Okay, and so in my letter that I have sent to the sheriff's office, I attached all the news articles about how terrible the road conditions were that day. So I'm not a very pleased wife in the behavior or the treatment of my husband here. My husband, that sheriff's office has been through a ton of stuff, and my husband is not one to be involved in things like that. He's a good employee. He's actually a great employee. He's a prized possession that Monroe County should hold dear. And he's one that I hold very dear, so I take this very personal whenever someone is not treating my husband with the respect that he deserves. So there's no reason my husband should have been on that road for 300 miles in the middle of an ice storm when I-90 was shut down because there was an 8-car pileup, there were oil tankers turned over, there were wreckers involved in the wrecks, there were wreckers who abandoned a 15-car pileup because the road was so bad they couldn't come back to the next day. And here's my husband driving 300 unnecessary miles while the detainee is banging his head against the window, kicking. So he's white knuckle driving all the way down I-90 while this car is rocking on the freeway. So needless to say, I'm not super happy about his treatment. So I support my husband in his charity to work here. We don't make any money here, that he purely does this for the love of the job and because that's who he is. My husband has a servant heart. But if he didn't work here, I could be living a much better life. I'll tell you that. And why do it? I support my husband because he loves it and he loves this community. And I don't want to encourage him to leave his job. And he does not like this type of stuff. He's probably very uncomfortable that I sent that letter. But I'm very uncomfortable that you put my husband's life at risk, or I should say the county attorney put my husband's life at risk. I don't understand why any direction wouldn't go from the county attorney to the sheriff, not from the county attorney to my husband. The county attorney is not my husband's boss. He is not the chief administrator or whoever, and I'm sorry, I believe this is a woman. Deb Jackson is her name. She's not my husband's chief administrator. My husband's direction should come only from the sheriff. And I know that the sheriff would not have sent him to Warm Springs on that road conditions had that been, the protocol been properly followed. So that's what my public comment is about, was addressing that and having the county attorney explain her why she had my husband go over there during that type of road conditions without even considering, A, that she's not his chief administrator, and B, that this is a human being with a family, that we need to be taking care of our deputies here, especially since you only have 3 left. So, I mean, we are very short-handed, they're doing the best they can, and the ones that you have left, you're treating like garbage. So.
Thank you so much for your comment and for sharing your concern. And of course, it's something that we will contemplate, but really that goes to the county attorney. We don't know her reasons for having given that directive, and we couldn't pretend to know. So
Which is why I sent the letter ahead of time so she could be here to explain herself.
Well, again, what I would like to recommend to you is to make an appointment and speak directly with the county attorney and find out really what all went into that, because we don't know. We take your concern, but I encourage you to go directly to the county attorney.
As the commissioners, you guys should know about this stuff. And so this is your responsibility, I think.
What, I don't understand that statement, ma'am, because we're not involved in the day-to-day, what goes on in the court, what the sheriff does minute by minute. No, we have no idea.
Wow.
The sheriff runs his department, the county attorney runs her department.
And the
If
county
there's
attorney
issues
doesn't
and
come to
there's-
the commissioner's office?
What's
Or
that?
doesn't come to the commissioner's meetings? The county attorneys don't attend these meetings?
Well, I mean.
We have
you
our
you
deputy
assistant-
county
you have
attorney.
deputy county
When
attorney.
there's a topic
Quite
for
often,
them.
Yeah.
We don't, but what,
And she'll come if we request her to come,
Okay, which I did, so.
Well, but we didn't know that.
but we didn't know that, and I don't know what happened with the letter, but we haven't seen it.
Well, I'd love to have it addressed and maybe something responded to in writing, and this is my formal request.
what time of day on the 31st did?
It was in the middle of the night. My
Oh.
husband didn't return back till 6 a.m.
So he departed here about 10 at night?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
We do know that sometimes that is a requirement of the job. We don't know the circumstances to this. That's why I think it's only best to go straight to the county attorney and learn what all of those circumstances were surrounding her directive to go to Warm Springs on that night.
Okay.
But
It should
thank you.
never be a requirement when the
Well-
road conditions are as they are. Never. We should take care of our people a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know where, I do want to make sure that you touch base with the county attorney. Do you know where her office is so you could make an appointment?
No, I don't, but I can surely find this on.
Okay, it is up on the top floor, 3rd floor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Any other comments?
It's always a fun question.
I'm trying to think of jokes. The one I have is kind of off color.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say to that, Diane, and I do love your humor, but I've been getting so much feedback on the professionalism of our meetings, and I think to suddenly start telling jokes as a time filler might not fit the bill. But I do love your humor, and thank you.
Say, unless it's a really good one.
You know, I might just respond to what we just heard here too, like, that definitely is a concern if those things happen. And even though you guys don't handle the day-to-day duties of the various offices, it certainly seems to me that you would want to look into those accusations and for your own benefit to answer that, because the turmoil that seems to be going on within our county offices right now needs to be addressed. And it would be appreciated as the community leaders that carry the football for this county to certainly take heed to these things and address them. So anyway, I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
My name's John Rizzi.
Hello, John.
Right. To go back to, I was a police officer for 30 years, right? There needs to be a constant communication between the sheriff's office and the county attorney. If the county attorney gave an order for someone to be transported, if it wasn't an immediate threat to the community, then there shouldn't have been a transport at that time. They could have waited. If he was secured enough where he wasn't a harm to himself or to somebody else, then there was no need to transport that person in that conditions.
And the only comment I have is we don't know the circumstances.
Oh, I understand that.
But but we do need to look into that, and I really
That's
want
where there needs to be
her-
more communication between the offices.
I think that, well, I'm just gonna say,
That's why, and I understand, this is my first meeting I've attended in person.
and we welcome you,
I've
thank
seen them
you.
online,
Thank you.
and I do appreciate the more structure that's going on. And it's, we can understand more that's going on. I also believe that every department in the county should have a representative here. So these questions can be answered during this time, you know. So, because from where I worked before, I worked for a city, I didn't work for a county, but they had every department head there at the meetings. And when, during the public comment section came around, they were able to answer questions and take care of it at that time. So, it doesn't have to be the sheriff, maybe the undersheriff or some other representative or some, you know, we have the deputy attorney here, that's fine. But even the other departments, they should have somewhat of a representative here so people can have questions. Because like you just said, you're not dealing with the day-to-day, but they are. So when a citizen does have a question, a representative's here to say, if I can't give you that answer now, I will get back to you and get it done. But to go on, yeah, that I don't think, like I said, I don't know the whole circumstances of the situation.
Right.
But if he was secured, able to be secured, and not a threat to himself or anybody else, that could have waited. Because there's no need to put that deputy's health or safety, you know, when it's not needed.
You know what?
They face you know, in law enforcement, you face a lot of difficult situations.
Yes.
And even just by driving, their life is on the line.
Well, I look forward to looking into the matter, and I really look forward to you being able to reach out to the county attorney. So by bringing it forward now, we all have an awareness that, oh, maybe nothing was done wrong here, but at least we'll find out what the situation was.
Exactly.
So we do appreciate that.
There just needs to be more communication between all departments. I said, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There was definitely something done wrong here.
Well, let's wait, let's,
No,
okay.
there's definitely something that's.
But I would like to, before making a judgment, I really want to know all of the circumstances. Yep.
But the deputy shouldn't have the road in those conditions, and alone with a detainee.
Oh, could you come to the podium, because everybody likes to hear. So if you could stand, please.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
make this
that's okay.
point earlier,
Yeah.
but he was alone as well. And so an aggressive detainee like that, there shouldn't have been just one person in that transport anyway. But there was definitely a mistake made here. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't just shirk responsibility if I were you. There was a mistake made here. You don't know the circumstances yet, but there's no reason he should have been on that road at that time.
Okay, well, we take your comment very seriously, and I assure you that we'll talk to the county attorney.
It doesn't feel like that when you say nothing was done wrong here.
I'm
Something
saying,
was done.
I didn't say that. We don't know the circumstances. I want to be clear about that. I don't want to rush to judgment. I don't want to judge anyone. I want all of the circumstances. And I intend to go. probably these guys will too, and just find out what those circumstances were. But I just think none of us are probably willing to point the finger and make a judgment, because it just doesn't work out well. But we will look into this very serious concern that you have brought forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else like to come forward? Any other topics, or continue on with this one? Any voices to be heard?
My name's Anna Marie White, and I got to meet somebody new today, so that's pretty exciting. So I do want to piggyback on part of your comment. I am always disappointed that there are not department heads at this meeting, because I think that this is the time when most of us would have an opportunity to chat, address, talk about things with those department heads if we needed to. Just because we're already here, everybody's in the same room. But then if the department heads were here, and I understand that you guys do yield the power to cause that to happen, then they're here and we can address any concerns that we may have with them that we might not be able to address with them otherwise, right? There's certain things that would be most appropriately dealt with in an open forum. So I would like to see that. I would like to see the department heads be present and be available to us. Instead of, I mean, there's some department heads that I don't even know who they are. I've seen their names on the list, but I don't know if I see them at the market. I don't know that that's, so-and-so from this department. I just want to offer my support that you guys will do that, but I also want to ask if that is something that you're willing to do, and that if you would, do you see the benefit in doing so, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first, I would like to offer you a tour. I would love to take you around and introduce you to every department head. That would be great. And then my only thoughts, and then I'll hand it over to these guys. I don't know that a department head could devote that much time, during a meeting like this, because you don't know, maybe the question's at 9, maybe the question's at 2. And so I could see that being problematic. But I do want to make sure you get to meet everyone, and honestly, they're there for you at any time to go and ask a question too. That's my feeling, and I'll just step back now and let the other two give theirs.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, that, like timing it might be difficult, but maybe we could have someone from that office, maybe not necessarily the department head themselves, but if they couldn't make it, kind of delegate to someone, and there you go with that delegating it. Delegate that to someone and have someone in attendance.
At every meeting?
At every meeting?
Well, public comment.
Oh, just at public
Isn't
comment?
that what you're talking?
Oh,
Yes.
just at public comment?
Yes. I mean, I have seen them here when there's something on the agenda specific to their departments, or I should say offices, right? Not departments, but offices, right, Wally? That's the.
It's office, it is
It's the
office.
offices. So I have seen them here during that time, but then, they're here for that purpose and that purpose only. And then they leave, so then we don't have access to them. But if they were available during this time, I think like for Lauren, it would be ideal if she were given a few minutes, if that person were already here, whether it's the head or somebody designated to be here. And then I think just for our community, it would be incredible for us to know, not that everybody has voted for them, but I mean, we need to know who is in those offices, right? And we need to know the work that they're doing and what their officers are doing. if I hadn't seen the videotape of when Mary Mueller was making presentations, I would not know everything that's going on in her, and I don't need to know all the details. But, I mean, she's doing some pretty incredible work for the county, so that's pretty impressive. And I think that that's important for the community to know as a whole. So I think that they could bring that, make us aware if they're here. Even if it is just during the public comment, you know, this is what the office is doing, this is, just like Ms. Donovan earlier talked about, you know, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, and just so that everybody's aware of it. So I think it just would be so much better for us to have that communication opened up, and not just when it is advantageous to that office, but always, you know, just know that, or we could know that we would have access to them. So that's my comment, and I appreciate your answers. Oh, but Roman, what was your take on it?
Oh, so maybe I'm gonna be kind of a compromise on it, because I know that a lot of the offices will probably reply that they're quite busy even, and then if they did offer up a representative, so like, for example, today, Wally is a deputy county attorney, and he has no idea at all of what happened. I mean, you can take it back to them, of course, but I was wondering, Anna Marie, if, since we want to do quarterly, so about every 3 months, we want to do a department head meeting, which it's like a work session where every department head is here, not a representative, but the clerk and recorder, the treasurer, the judge, and we would go around with what is going on in their offices. It's kind of an update. And then people who are here could also ask of them and see, but they kind of tell us what's going on in their office, what they've been doing, what trainings they might do, what they're learning. So I was wondering, would that satisfy? It was every 3, because if we do it every meeting,
Sure.
I'm sure that interest will start to wane, so pretty soon, so the department head, instead of the deputy, then you might get the new secretary, and that person's gonna go, well, I don't know what to say, I just, you know, I don't wanna answer for my boss, so.
Yeah.
So then it would sort of be maybe an unsatisfactory reply, if any reply at all. So I don't know if we have these every 3 months quarterly, where every department head, the sheriff would be here, the weed, the MSD extension, the county attorney, everybody would be here to go around and say what's going on in their offices, and then could field questions from the public for follow-up. So would that be satisfactory, or are you still thinking, because every public, there might be one question you have this week for them, and then the next 3 weeks, they're sitting here and nobody has a question for them, so.
Yeah, and I think that would be a wonderful way to address it. And then they would be open to the public,
Yeah.
and we would be present, and we would be a part of, and I think that would be huge.
Yeah. And at those, also besides the ones that are elected head, we would have our land planner who is not elected. He'd give us an update, what's going on with subdivisions, septic permits, and then our road foreman is here, he's not elected, but he would say, you know, and people could say, what are your projects you have planned here shortly coming up with spring breakup, what road? It would be a perfect time for everybody to kind of interact with those folks.
Anna Marie, and that's what we were talking about this morning, is we're going to get back to doing those starting in March. And you will see those on the agenda. So it is good, but I am concerned that people don't feel comfortable just going up into the offices and introducing themselves and finding out what that office does, because that is important. And I do look forward to giving you a tour and introducing you to everyone, because those office doors are always open. Everything is open to the public, and pop in whenever you want.
Yes. And I personally am not uncomfortable, but I think that that's great, and I think that if we can extend that to anyone.
It's to everyone,
Yes,
the public. These are
that would be
public
awesome.
offices. We are servants to the public.
Yeah.
And so anyone is welcome at any time to go into any office.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for your interest in being here.
Yes, thanks.
Crystal Springs.
Yes.
You've been here several times now.
That's right.
I just have a comment on that. I think that a resolution might be how you structure your agenda. Because your agenda items, if they pertain to the clerk and recorder or pertain to the treasurer, that's the time that you could have that person here to address those issues. That way you don't have to have every department head here at the same time. As far as public comment goes, correct me, Wally, if I'm wrong, but statute says that you guys don't have to comment on public comment. You only have to comment on action items, on agenda items. So you can certainly listen to everybody, but you don't have to have this dialogue that you're having, and that would control that. The other thing I might say is by bringing these departmental heads down, you build unity within the county. These people get to see and address the problems and things that you're being asked about their department that you can't answer because the county attorney is not here. So if you knew that was, if that happened to be an agenda item, you could ask the county attorney to come and be here to defend her position. So it might be something to think about. We're getting better about our agenda, but we're still not there according to statute. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. I just have to respond to my friend Kenny, my classmate. I think, especially in her situation, I'm sorry I didn't get your name. Lauren's situation. I mean, responding with some sort of compassion is very nice, you know, and if I weren't Lauren and I came up to present what happened, and I would feel the same way, Lauren. Those roads were scary. And I don't know the circumstances, but responding with some compassion and understanding is very helpful. Instead of just saying, thank you for your comment. I mean, and you guys did, you know, and I don't think you argued. I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding maybe when it was being presented, but I think you looked at some solutions, and I think that's important too. So that's my position.
Thank you.
Thank
Although I
you.
hesitate to say thank you now.
No! I didn't mean it.
No.
I did not mean that as a criticism.
I didn't.
Of you either, Kim.
Are there any other comments? Either of you guys have any comments? Okay, it is a couple minutes after 12, and because there are no other comments, this meeting will adjourn.
Thank you.
I'm going to, Laura, is it Lauren or Laura?
Good.